I see you in the comments. Strike three. Rob McMillan, Mike Peterson, Michael Silk made it. What's going on? The T-shirt man. We are live here at Michigan Football Report. I got Young Harbaugh with me. Jack LaTorre. 5 days. 5 days. Michigan, Alabama. I'm actually heading out to California tomorrow. I got like an 8:30 a.m. flight. Something I wouldn't recommend anybody is taking early flights across country with two kids. One of which you got like the best kid ever, son as a baby, and then a daughter who's 18 months so who just she cries a lot. So it'll be a rough one, but we're gonna have a fun little trip. Whatever on Thursday, Legoland on Friday, San Diego Zoo on Saturday, heading up, staying in Santa Monica. Sunday game is Monday, and then Tuesday, whatever, coming back to Dallas on Wednesday. So 6.5 days out in California for me. I see Brandon Cheney, Matthew Nowak, Fred Mwaganhanahunga, real name, Luther Sanders with a beat Bama, Tim Baker, my guy, go blue, Bosa, Houston or bust. I see you, Mark Schenk. What are you most worried about for the Alabama game? What are you guys most worried about for this Michigan-Alabama game? Mine is, honestly, the 2021 Georgia game, right? That's the thing, is that Michigan tries to run the ball and they are just stuffed at the line of scrimmage. Then they try and mix it up by pitching the ball wide or doing reverse, and that doesn't really change much otherwise. And Michigan's just too late to adapt. I mean, I was just watching the Georgia highlights a couple days ago. It's like, gosh, I don't remember it was this bad, but it was. Michigan was down 14-0, like the second possession of the game. It was brutal, and they had to get a touchdown late. J.J. McCarthy to what's the kid's name? Just forgetting his name, that went to Oklahoma. Sam would know. Andrel Anthony, a touchdown in the last couple of minutes just to get up to 11 points. I mean, that game was over 5, 6, 7 minutes into the game. That's my biggest concern, that Michigan doesn't, adjust quick enough. This team has not been in a tight game, really, for most of the year. Ohio State towards the end, okay, that was a great drive, 7-minute drive to secure the win, but they didn't put it in the end zone. Penn State was interesting, but again, it was Michigan was not behind at any point really in that game. And so that's my biggest concern, is that they are just not ready to play against the caliber athlete and the caliber of coaching that Alabama is going to bring. I mean, look, Nick Saban's been in 8 of these 10 college football playoffs, and he's only lost in the first round one single time. So he's 6-1 in the first round, only lost to Ohio State. We're going to talk about that later on in the show. Let me know what you guys are thinking on this question. What year did you become a Michigan football fan? I am 1991, the Desmond Howard Heisman Trophy year. It's the first kind of year I remember, although I'd been to a few Michigan games prior to that. That is the one. Let's go through some of these pictures. Keep it going. I'll give some shout outs on these. Michigan arriving yesterday in California, in LA area, for the Rose Bowl on Saturday, 2 p.m. local time, 5 o'clock Eastern. There's Jim Harbaugh. Take a look at Blake Corum here on the, I don't know if it's the bus at the hotel. I guess it has to be, right? They're taking the stuff off the bus. We got players with roses in their mouths, looking great, honestly. Looking really sharp, looking like they're having a lot of fun as Michigan is preparing to face Alabama in just 5 short days. Now, Jim Harbaugh didn't have a contract signed before he left for that trip. So, what I told you weeks ago is that nothing signed by Christmas Day. They're going to leave on the 26th, and that could be all she wrote. 1972 from Mark Zellers. 1982, I see from A-Train, 132. 1969 from Michael. Sigma Light says 1985. Dennis Ward says go B. Tim Baker, 1989. Let's see what you guys are thinking on this question. What uniforms do you want Michigan to wear against Alabama this Monday? The biggest game in Michigan football history, at least in my opinion. Do you want to go with the all blues, the big game blues, or the traditional maize pants, blue tops, with whatever socks and everything like that they have? Or do you want to go back to September 2017 with the all maize? The only time they wore those were against another SEC team in Florida, in Dallas, first weekend, Labor Day weekend of the 2017 season. Give me a 1, a 2, or a 3 in the comments. I got Tim Baker going for all maize, Joshua Bennett with a 1, W. Evans with a 2. I'm going 2. I think they should go traditional on this one, but keep those comments rolling in. I want to know what you guys are thinking on Michigan's uniforms. Coming up, Michigan, Alabama on Monday, 5 o'clock Eastern. I think it could be one of the biggest games in college football history from a TV perspective. I'll show you what Michigan is up against coming up in a few minutes. Did want to tell you guys about Prize Picks. It's the easiest and fastest way to play daily fantasy sports. Pick more or less. That's all you got to do. Pick more or less on player stats to win up to 25 times your money. This week on Prize Picks, I'm rolling one pick this entire week. I'm sticking, left 25 bucks in my account after I cashed out a little bit. J.J. McCarthy, I'm going more than 16.5 rushing yards for Michigan superstar quarterback Jalen Milroe. I'm going more than him. I think he's going to try and get his yards. I think that's where Alabama probably thinks they have the best chance to move the ball is Jalen Milroe going more on 32.5 yards. 5 picks in this Prize Pick submission for the Rose Bowl. Colson Loveland, he's my X factor in this one. 36.5 yards for Colson Loveland. I'm going more than that. Blake Corum, I'm going less. I'm staying conservative here. I think he will score a touchdown or maybe 2 or more. 71.5 yards. I'm going less. And then Jermaine Burton, the wide receiver, the best wide receiver for Alabama, less than 53.5 receiving yards. I made 5 picks, right? Now, they're all in the same game, and that's fine, right? I put 25 bucks on it. I get all those right. I win 10x my money, $250. But if I only get 4, it continues on there. If I only get 3, I win 10 bucks back on that $25 entry. That's why Prize Picks is awesome. Get going. Start for the Rose Bowl if you haven't yet. Use promo code CLNS. Use that link as well, prizepicks.com/CLNS. Get yourself up to a $100 first deposit match. Support the show. Make sure they know that we came from us. Use that promo code CLNS and get yourself $100 deposit match. You know, if you put in 50, they give you 50. You put up to 100, you get yourself a $100 deposit match. And we have our first super chat of the day, Matt Shook. I haven't seen him in a while. Matt Shook, so he was in there a little bit last year, but I haven't seen him in a bit. He says, Yoder, you're my man crush. I'm going to the game. Fly out Friday. By the way, Alabama fans blow on hot Cheetos before they eat them. Go blue. I love that one. They blow on hot Cheetos. That kind of means they're soft, Jack. You know, doing one of these things. You know what? I'm going to mess up my cord here, but that's okay. Matt Shook, appreciate the $20 super chat. And that means, Matt, that I'm going to give you a couple helmet stickers right there. I've got one of these open. You are going on the latest edition of the Michigan Football Report hard hats. Let me get that on there for you. You get 2 stickers. I'll do one right now, and we will do one after the show. What's the date? The 27th, Jack? It is 27th. All right. Matt, thank you for the $20 super chat. We really, really appreciate it. By the way, Matt, DM me on Twitter at James Yoder. If you're around, I don't really have any game day plans. I'm taking my wife, taking my son, leaving the daughter with a babysitter, and we're gonna head out there around noon or so, 2 hours prior to game. Where is it? Right, Matt Shook, right there at the top. You are on the hard hat super chat menu for today. 2 hard hat stickers coming to Matt Shook. Any super chat, you'll get a shout out. We'll put your question up on the screen. I'm sorry, $5 is that. I'm sorry about that. So super chat, get your question on live. $5, we will put your photo, your name, etc. up on screen. $10, you're getting yourself a helmet sticker like Matt just did, and you will be on the end screen credits for the next season, kind of after signing day in February for the next year. End of our show is about 5 shows a week or so. Your name will be on there for supporting the show, so appreciate that. $20 or $50. We're opening it up. Anything between $20 and $50. Send Jack to Houston Fun. And then the MVP of the show today, which right now is Matt Shook, highest super chatter. We are going to send you a Manscaped Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra. This bad boy is awesome. I absolutely love it. So, Matt, you're leading the charge. We'll mail one of these bad boys to you if you're the MVP, but a lot of time left in the show. We'll be live for about 90 to 120 minutes. And you know what, Jack? I did it. It's these damn On Clouds that are very comfortable to walk in, but for some reason they are the worst shoes in history to keep tied. And you got to like quadruple knot them. You step on one little piece of it, and it just goes off the railing. So, Jack, where are we at in the Send Jack to Houston Fund? Where do we know where we're at?
Yeah, so with that $20 super chat, we are down to $220.
$220 left?
$220 left.
Okay, so we've got $780 so far. So $220 left. Send Jack to Houston Fun. Matt contributing $20 to that. Thank you so much, Matt Shook. I'm your man crush. Hey, maybe you are my man crush as well. Let's get some likes in today's video. We've got a lot to talk about. We're going to talk about Jim Harbaugh's future. We're going to talk about the game plan. I've got some practice intel for you. What Michigan thinks they have the advantage on. What maybe some surprise play calls you might see. Breaking down the quarterbacks, J.J. McCarthy, Jalen Milroe. Who's better, who's worse? TV ratings. This is a lot of buzz. This could be one of the most watched games in college football history, and I think it actually should be. Take your questions. To have 2 different segments about your questions. So answer away. Use hashtag Michigan or super chat, and we can get you on that show. If you do both, maybe you go right to the top of the line. So like the video. There's a $50 super chat. Send Jack to Houston from Ashley Lawson. Bam! Coming in with a 50 burger. She's like 5 shows in a row with a 50 burger. Maybe more, Jack. Maybe more. Ashley is getting herself a woo, and she's the MVP right now. Now, Ashley, I don't know if the Manscaped Lawnmower 5.0 is for you. So if you're the MVP, maybe we can send you a different product, or if you want it, you can use it, give it to somebody else. I wrote her name sloppy, so I am going to rewrite it. Ashley Lawson is helping us send Jack to Houston. And you're getting on the helmet. Appreciate that. We got 5 helmet stickers coming up for Ashley Lawson. Going to put that right there. Got a new helmet with the last week's show. Ashley Lawson, December 27th. What'd you say there? Let me pull it up here. Make sure Jack is going. Go Blue. Thank you so much, Ashley. Your support of the show over the last few months has certainly not gone unnoticed, and we absolutely appreciate it. Hope the helmet is find a nice spot for you in your house, the Michigan football helmet. I got one myself here, too. They will give out another one sometime after Michigan wins the national title. All right, Jack, what else we got for the people here? I want to ask you guys, how confident are you in beating Alabama? $200 super chat. Go grab Jeremy. Go grab Jeremy. We got something for you. Strike 3, who's getting a couple of these helmets coming his way, and a T-shirt or two. We just chatted later. Coming with a $200 super chat. He says, enjoy Houston. Jack, that's the deal, right, Jack? That's $200. We hit it, right? Because Ashley came in $50, right? And he's $200. Right? Maybe anything over that, that's fine. He's coming in. He says, send Jack to Houston. Enjoy Houston. Thanks for the show. Strike 3. You are the man. Holy cow. We have hit $270 in super chats in just a matter of minutes from starting the show. So, wow. I can't believe it's strike 3. You are the absolute man. And right now, you are leading the way. What's that? All right. Strike 3. We've got something for you. We didn't even get a chance to put it up, but we're not going to tell him yet. Jeremy Chuggs, our resident, I don't know, what do you think? He's kind of like our trader? Oh, yeah. Yeah. But he said if he's not doing any live shows today, he said if anyone sends in a 200 super chat, he's going to come on the show and do a beer boot, which is 3 beers in a clear boot, and get the people going. So strike 3, you didn't even know, but Jeremy is going to come on and do it here in a moment. Putting you right at the top of the helmet. Strike 3 is our super chat MVP so far, up there with Ashley Lawson, Matt Shook right behind them. Thank you guys so much. Means a lot. Last live show of the year, and I'll tell you what, the second I get signal walking out of the Rose Bowl after Michigan wins, I'm going live my phone, Jack. I think that's what I should do. I think I should go live my phone the second we get signal and just celebrate with the people. Now, I haven't been to a Rose Bowl since I've had an iPhone, I don't think. I mean, it's been like 13 years, so I had probably an Android for a BlackBerry back then, but I don't know if YouTube was alive with live streaming back in like 2009, 2010. Mark Eastman says, drink one for me. Thank you, Mark. We will do. I don't know, have kids. There he is, Jeremy Chuggs. Come on, push me full screen if you can. See, strike 3. He's hitting multiple to-dos. We move some stuff for you there. He sends Jack to Houston, so we've hit the Send Jack to Houston fund. We've raised $1,030 now we've raised. So strike 3 and $200 to see a beer truck for you. So tell the people what you've got in this cup.
I got a little bit of Yoder's favorite beer, a little Bud Latte.
Oh, Bud Light. Oh, boy. I don't know about that. So he's got 3 Bud Lights, and he is going to chug them here on the Michigan Football Report. And it is 5:44 Eastern. It's 5 o'clock somewhere, so it's cool.
We bought these in bulk, and this is how we get rid of them.
Yeah. Bought them in bulk. This is how you get rid of them. This is for Strike 3. Give a shout out to Strike 3.
Hey, shout out Strike 3. Go Blue. F Alabama.
Right, that's my guy. All right, let's get some Chugs in the live chat. That's actually his nickname, by the way. His name is Chugs. His name is Jeremy, but we call him Chugs around the office. Let's see what you got. Chug.
Under 10 seconds, guaranteed Alabama victory.
Well, Alabama victory?
I mean, Michigan
victory.
Gosh.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah. It's like the time I said fire Harbaugh on the show a couple instead of free Harbaugh. Yeah, oh, my gosh. He says under 10 seconds is a guaranteed Michigan victory. I think is what he meant.
Michigan victory.
All right, should I get the clock? Stopwatch? Jack, you want to put up a clock? You want to put it on the screen? Or should I just do it on my phone? Okay. All right. Let me see here. Resets. Okay. You tell me. I'm gonna start it right when you go, Jeremy. Chug. There he goes. chug, 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 6, 7, 6 seconds, 6.5 seconds. He hasn't even hit 10 yet. He hasn't even hit 10 yet. That is my guy. Give me a little Michigan Football Report chest bump. Let's go, baby. Let's go, Blue. What I'm talking about. Jeremy and I, don't forget this. You guys might remember if you watched the show for a couple of years, Jeremy and I actually went to Vegas immediately after the Michigan-Ohio State game in 2021, had ourselves a wild time. And I'll tell you what, it's the first time I found out in my life because he was running late, had to go home after the office. You can actually bribe TSA agents. Did you know that? You can bribe people at the airport to hold planes up. I give somebody $100 to hold the plane for 10 minutes so he can get through security and make it on there. So there is a $200 super chat from Strike 3 for Jeremy. Sending Jack to Houston. So Jack, put in some time off requests. We're going to Houston. And Jeremy has done a $200 super chat here on the Michigan Football Report. Now, we're going to talk some Bryce Underwood coming up. Also, transfer portal got a little spicy this afternoon. The MVP of the MAC football conference, the MAC Player of the Year from Toledo, their running back from Detroit. Well, where does he want to go? Does he want to go maybe Michigan? We even said Michigan State. Blake Corum's gone. You haven't seen anything from Cole Cabana or Benjamin Hall or these guys yet. I'm not sure if Clell Mullings is the guy yet. Is the Don the guy? I don't know. Running back, why would you not take a guy who got 1,400 yards and 15 touchdowns this year, the MAC Player of the Year? That's what I'm talking about. Also, Ace of Spades 6407. Last week, you put in a super chat. We did a race, and you won. And so we're trying to get you your Manscaped beard hedger. So if you can, DM me. It's at James Yoder. Or make a comment on one of our videos. Ace of Spades, in that space 6407 is his username. If you're watching, let me know. I also commented on one of your videos, Ace of Spades, on your YouTube channel. To make sure you DM me or put your address in there. We want to send you that Manscaped beard hedger that you won in our duck race last week. All right, Jack, where are we? I've lost my spot in our thread and everything in the script. So let me take a look at where we're at on this Michigan Football Report. Let's get some score predictions. All right, let's get some score predictions. I want to see what you guys are feeling. Jack, can we take some screenshots of the score predictions going on? I'll do it. And I want to see if anybody can get this right. So predict the score here in the live chat as we got about 175 people watching this video, 50 likes. So give me a like in the video as you're putting the score predictions in. We got an exciting show. Malachi says Damani Jackson and Penny Boone will be at the University of Michigan next year. That'd be awesome. I think it's the two of the top, outside the quarterback, two of the top 3-4 players left in the transfer portal as we speak right now. I'm going to take some screenshots here. I'm going to see if I can get any of these. Anybody, I'm going to minimize this so I can come back to the later date, Jack. I'm going to screenshot a few of these and send them to you. Oops. Okay, why don't you screenshot? Maybe make it easier than me since I'm on screen right now. All right, we're going to see, keep them going in the next 30 seconds or so. We will screenshot and show love. Anybody predicts the score? We've got 31-17 Michigan from Codename Cody. Strike 3, my guy with a 200. 34-23 Michigan. 24-17 from Cornelius Canamore. That's my prediction as well, Cornelius. So good one. Great minds think alike. Jack, your score prediction. Why don't you toss up on screen? I've got 24-17. Jack actually made his score prediction for the first time yesterday, and he put 21-14 Michigan. But you put in Alabama's colors, Jack. I don't know. Okay, it's a guaranteed Michigan's going to win. Crimson, yeah. Jeremy, by the way, guaranteed. It's if you got it in 10 seconds, guaranteed Michigan win. So that's what I'm talking about. J8 gets over 300 yards. Maybe he means JJ, I hope. Brian Mack says you can't hold Corum down from Mark Eastman. Michigan Wolverines says 31-28. Joshua Kubaj says 24-17. And Michigan, same score prediction I have. Mark says 35-17. Judy Jordan, 35-17 as well. 60 likes in the video. Let's get it up to 100 as soon as we can here on a Wednesday. I hope all you guys have some time off, or you're just hanging out, waiting for this game coming up on Monday. This is kind of like the laziest week of the year for a lot of people, Jack. Not in the sports industry, not in the retail, bars, travel. Those industries got to work. Everybody else can kind of take a week or so off in between Christmas and New Year's, which they should. They absolutely should do that. Have we shown? I want to put this one question up, Jack, if we can. This one I'm highlighting right there on the script. If you can take a look. I'll put that one up. So really want to hear what you guys are thinking, right? This is the first time in modern history that Michigan has gone back-to-back undefeated regular seasons, Big Ten championship. So what's the better team here? 2013 Michigan or 1997? Now, suspend belief for a second. Suspend your thoughts of, well, we'll see what happens Monday. I'm talking about if they met on a field right now, went back in time to 1997 or went in a time machine forward, Back to the Future, who would win that game if you had Lloyd Carr, Brian Greasy, Marcus Ray, Charles Woodson against Jim Harbaugh, J.J. McCarthy, Junior Colson, Mike Sanders, and this 2023 Michigan football team on a neutral field. Let's just call it the Rose Bowl at 2 o'clock Pacific time as the sun kind of comes up at the top and starts to just fade away over those lovely Southern California mountains. 97 had too many pros, says Malachi. I do agree, but so does this team. He's saying 97, though. Let's take a look here. A lot of 97s here. Tim Baker says 2023. I'm leaning a little 2023. I'm leaning there. But I'm going to reserve the right to change my mind once they play Alabama because Michigan got the job done in 1997 in the Rose Bowl. It's really not as good of a team in Washington State, but nevertheless, they did get that win. Strike three, our guy. And there's a $20 super chat going to send Jack from Houston. For Jack, you've got dinner. Brad Bucherite with a $20 super chat. That is a hard hat member for another year. Brad, I'm getting one on there. He says Michigan by 14, 35-21. If you recall, last time Michigan beat Alabama, January 1st, 2000, they scored 35 points in that game, 35-34. Let's fucking go, Natty. Here we come. Go Blue. James Yoder's a legend. Brad, you are a legend now, and you'll be immortalized on this show for at least the next year one more time. So let me get that on there. Brad, before we start our first segment, make sure I don't misspell the name. Yep, that's right. Butgereit. Brad, you'll be on the helmet for another year. I'm sorry, the helmet, the end screen, and you're on the helmet, of course, right now. 12/27. Appreciate that $20 super chat, Brad. We've got Brad, we've got Ashley, we've got Strike 3, we've got Matt Shook here on the Michigan Football Report. Brad, I'm putting you right next to Strike 3 at the top of the helmet, right there. Whoop. There you go, Brad. Appreciate the $20 super chat. Natty, here we come. If anybody's going to the Rose Bowl, let me know in the live chat. Say me if you were headed to the Rose Bowl. Trevoris Beckley says 97. Malachi says his opinion will change if Michigan wins it all. That's kind of where I'm at. It'd be a close game. Keith Wallace says Michigan wins against Alabama 28-17, 38-28 Michigan man. Tim Baker says James Yoder and young Harbaugh are top dogs. Go Blue, beat Bama. So thank you so much, Jack. You're a top dog. Mark Shanks, I'm nervous, but he believes in this team. I'm not nervous. Okay, I've got the same feeling I had in 2021. The week or so, really the month leading up to the Ohio State game, even though Ohio State was up 49-0 at halftime the week prior in that 2021 season against Michigan State, a top 10 Michigan State team that beat Michigan, I still was confident. I think Harbaugh is going to finally get over the hump. Third time is a charm. So let me know what you guys are thinking, 2023 or 1997 Michigan Wolverines. All right, 71 likes, 190 people watching. So like the video. We're going to start our first segment, talk some transfer portal, talk some recruiting, and more here on the Michigan Football Report. Jack, you ready? All right. Let's do this bad boy. It's the Michigan Football Report. Let's go. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel. We passed 30,000 subscribers a week or two ago, and we're pushing to 31,000. So we'll have content from this live show up on the channel Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then I will do, if anything happens that is video worthy, I'll do some content from Southern California over the next week. And then we'll have Overreaction Tuesday after the game, maybe depending on cell signal. I might go live walking out of the Rose Bowl on Monday evening. 5 days till this game. If you watch this on Thursday, it's 4 days to the game, right? 4 days to the game. I think it's the biggest game in Michigan football history. Certainly more games have felt bigger at the time, 2006, number 1 versus number 2. But this is like a mountain Michigan hasn't climbed. This is going to be beating the best coach, not just in the history of college football, in my opinion, in the history of all team sports. The last year of a 4-team college football playoff, the last year of kind of a normal Big Ten 14 teams, maybe the last year for J.J. McCarthy, Jim Harbaugh. And everything changes after this football season. So big game. I'm excited for it. I'll be in the stadium coming up on Monday afternoon, Monday evening on the East Coast. How about this, though? MAC Player of the Year. This kind of dropped this afternoon as we were putting together this show. Penny Boone. I've seen his highlights. He's out of the Detroit. Went to Maryland for 2 years, right? Was a top 400 recruit coming out in the 2020 class. Went to Maryland. Didn't do a ton. Had a few yards here, a few yards there for 2 seasons, but has played Toledo the last couple of years. Had a really nice year this year. 800-yard games, and he really wasn't even the main back for the first 2. Got in there with 150 yards or so the third game and just exploded from there. 194 carries on the year. 1,400 yards. Averaging a whopping 7.2 yards per carry, 15 touchdowns, also has 15 catches, 219 yards, caught a touchdown as a receiver. Here's the quote he put out there, though. This is the really interesting part. This is why we're talking about it. I'm really open to any part of the country, but it would be nice if Michigan or Michigan State pops into the picture. So why would Michigan not pursue him? Why would they not? I mean, I can't see a single reason why. I don't think that any of the running backs that are freshmen next year or the redshirt freshman sophomores, Cole Cabana, Ben Hall, any of the true freshmen coming up are going to transfer if you get this guy. He's got 1 year of eligibility left, and he is starter material, best player in the MAC MVP. Now, his high school teammate, the Toledo quarterback, just committed to Baylor last week, so the best 2 players maybe in the MAC last year, same high school, Detroit Martin Luther King, and both are transferring out. So maybe he goes and plays with him at Baylor, but he specifically said, I'd love to hear from Michigan and Michigan State. Jim Harbaugh, Michigan's recruiting department, just give the kid a call. I mean, there's no need to wait. I don't think it would change anything with anyone transferring out. Donovan Edwards is not going to get mad if he wants to stay in again next year. You need a big-time running back if you are going to prevent a decent fall-off from this 3-year run, the likes we've never seen in the history of modern Michigan football. Keep it rolling here on the show. We have got a lot to talk about. We're calling it our Michigan football mega rumors. I haven't heard any intel on Boone yet, whether or not Michigan's going to be interested. But certainly, if they do, you'll find me on Twitter. You'll find us on Instagram, and might pop up and do a video if we get anything substantial over the next few days. Bryce Underwood, though, he is the story that I want to talk about. What will happen with his commitment, which is just a matter of days away. January 6th. It's not months away. That's 10 days away or so. So we'll talk about that here in a second. But I'll ask you guys this question. Who you got in the other game coming up, right? Once Michigan beats Alabama, they will play the winner of Texas and Washington. Now, I don't know who's going to win this game. I guess I lean Texas. They're favored. Maybe they got more talent. But certainly, remember, their coach flamed out at Washington, so maybe Washington's got the better coach. But I hope it's Washington because the national title game is in Houston, and that would be just a massively disadvantage for Michigan if they're playing Texas in Houston. So I'm going for Washington. Is my hope. Maybe my heart says Washington. My head says Texas. Let me know what you guys think. Give me a T or a W down in the comments. Let's talk some Bryce Underwood rumors. All right. The nation's #1 recruit is set to commit next Saturday, right? January 6th. He's in his junior year of high school. Some people have started to be down on him just a little bit, that he's not as good as people prior had said. He's not Trevor Lawrence or anything like that. I still am going to, #1 quarterback in the country, rarely flames out. And so Michigan needs to go full strength at him. So we'll talk about Bryce Underwood. Commitment date 1 month from today. I don't know if that should be in there, Jack. I don't know how that got in there, but don't go to that one. So he's been doing a lot of things, right? LSU has been the rumored favorite or co-favorite with Michigan. But over the last 2 weeks or so, it seems like it's going a little bit towards a team that Michigan knows a little thing about, which is Alabama, right? He was at Alabama on December 16th, so 11, 12 days ago now. And he's not shied away from posting things on social media, right? So posted this photo 2 days before Christmas, right, on Saturday. Just out of nowhere, him in Alabama in the uniform with the chain Bama boys. Now, I was a smart ass, Jack. I jumped in the comments on this tweet. I said, man, Alabama, what kind of education is that? They spelled boys wrong. But nevertheless, Alabama making a late charge. And Jack and I were talking, hey, winner of this game, Michigan-Alabama, wins the Natty, also gets Bryce Underwood. I'll take it because maybe LSU, could they be blowing it with Bryce Underwood? I think it's something to consider based on everything that's happened with that program over the past week or so. But I'll tell you more about that story, LSU, Bryce Underwood, Michigan, Alabama in a second. But first, potentially more important, is Prize Picks, the sponsor of the Michigan Football Report, the easiest and fastest way to play daily fantasy sports. All you do is pick more or less on player stats. You're not gambling against point spreads, over-unders, or against fantasy sports pros that make this their livelihood. It's super easy. It takes me less than 60 seconds to make my Prize Picks. And for this Rose Bowl game, I picked 5 players in one entry. If I get them all right, I get 10 times my money. I've got J.J. McCarthy getting more than 16.5 rushing yards, Jalen Milroe more than 32.5 rushing yards. My breakout player for this game is going to be Colson Loveland, so I'm going way more than 36.5 receiving yards. Less, right? It doesn't feel that great to say less when it's your team, but I think based on what I've seen with Alabama's defense, I'm going less than 71.5 for Blake Corum. I think Michigan's going to shut down the Alabama passing game, so I'm going less than 53.5 for their top receiver, Jermaine Burton. $10, $25 was what I put on it. I get 10 times my money if I get those bad boys back. And with the power play, I can get 4 correct, still get some money back. What, 2x my money is that what it says there, Jack? And if I get 3, so I just go 3 and 2, get 3 right, 2 wrong, I still get $10 back on my $25 that I risk. You can get up to a $100 deposit match at prizepicks.com/CLNS. Use code CLNS. Let them know that the Michigan Football Report sent you. They want to keep doing business with us. We can keep the lights on. Maybe Jack next year will just have a corporate budget. We can get you going to Houston for the national title game next year. I know it's not there, but nevertheless, prizepicks.com/CLNS. Support the show and have some fun because it's been super fun playing for me this year. And with the Michigan game against Alabama, I am going to absolutely be all over my latest Prize Pick submission. prizepicks.com/CLNS down in the comments and the description and the live chat of the Michigan Football Report. Let's keep it rolling with Bryce Underwood. So is LSU blowing it? Now, I don't have any insight on this. And you guys know I don't really try and get all the scoop on recruiting and such. But the allure to LSU is really twofold, right? It is the fact that they've seemingly been aggressive with NIL and putting an NIL deal together for Underwood. And that their offense produced a Heisman Trophy winner who potentially has a similar skill set to what Underwood himself has. But not Mike Denbrock, who's been with Brian Kelly at multiple stops over like 20 years, decided to hightail it out of there. He's no longer at LSU. He just took the Notre Dame offensive coordinator job. So who's going to be his offensive coordinator with 10 days to go, or whatever, 11 days to go to make the decision? That is a bad move by LSU to let that happen. But I'm sure Denbrock wanted to go back to South Bend. But how about this one? You guys might have saw the show yesterday or followed along over the weekend. Multiple reports out of LSU, right? They're like Rivals.com writer, their ESPN local radio guy said, hey, Brian Kelly wants the Michigan job. He's not fitting in here. Even though he beat Alabama last year in 2022, even though he produced a Heisman Trophy winner, even though he made it to the SEC title game in his first year, he's not fitting in. He doesn't love it. We don't necessarily love him. He would jump to go back to the state of Michigan or the Midwest if Jim Harbaugh, runs to the NFL. I don't think Michigan's going to take him. I think Sharon Moore, it's his job to lose unless something crazy happens with like an NCAA sanction or something like that. So I just think it's kind of bad timing by LSU if they are going to lock up this potentially generational player in Bryce Underwood. A week from Saturday, we'll probably be in Houston, Jackson. We'll probably have to go live for that. We'll be in Houston 2 days before the national championship game. Bryce Underwood will be making his decision. I think it's down to these 3 teams: Michigan, LSU, Alabama. I'm still confident it's going to be Michigan, although I don't think there's anything he said publicly that's pushed to that. I still think there's going to come up with, it's kind of like a generational thing, right? You make your mark as a high school player, 4 years, 4-year starter, 3 straight championship games, 2 wins, state championship, lost this year, come back for senior year. And then, people like to support people from where they are from, right? You're from Texas, people want to show you love in Texas. If you're from Michigan, they want to show you love in Michigan. I think that NIL kind of sales pitch may be what pushes Michigan over the top. Is that, hey, once you're on campus, people want to show love to a kid from Michigan, from the greater Detroit area in Belleville, and that will be the ultimate allure, whether or not Jim Harbaugh is the head coach for his entire career or not. My take, though, is that I think if he doesn't come to Michigan, all right, I don't know why. My gut's saying that like Michigan never gets these guys in a lot of ways. Right, J.J. McCarthy maybe in the last one, but remember, he committed as a sophomore in high school, right? That was May 11th, 2019, as a sophomore. So my gut's saying, oh, gosh, Michigan's not going to get him. They don't get any of these guys anymore with Jim Harbaugh. But I just think he will. I don't have anything to put it. It's just putting out the good vibes. I'm one of the great dot connectors of all time when it comes to these things. So hopefully I'm not that wrong. Hopefully, like Malachi said, Harbaugh's flirtation with the NFL doesn't change anything. But I just think he will end up at the Michigan football program. January 6th. Big J Sixter, just like you, Jack. Big day for you. Big day for Bryce Underwood coming up next Saturday. Michigan, though, is in Los Angeles for their Rose Bowl prep. Flew out in a really nice private jet, charter jet. You can go take a look at it. Just search like Michigan plane on Twitter or Google it. Really nice. Make sure the guys, they had like layback seats to the side, Jack. It was pretty great. But I thought this was pretty interesting. 9 recruits from this 2024 class, 9 of the players that signed early made the trip as well, which is a new rule. I think it's the 3rd year they've allowed it. It was actually a thing back in like 2004, 2005. Kevin Grady was the only guy I ever heard Michigan doing it with, was able to practice for bowl prep, then going into the 2004 Rose Bowl. But now players can do it, right? If they're going to enroll on campus in January, they can move into the dorms, be part of the team. And why not? Why wouldn't they be? But what's a week of difference? And I think it gives Michigan a little insight into what they may have with some of these players. On offense, we've got Jaden Davis. That's huge, right? Because Michigan's going to have to make a decision on the future of this quarterback position, whether it's J.J. McCarthy come back for a year, right? If he doesn't, then what happens to that quarterback position? I don't know if Jaden Denegal, I don't know if Alex Orji is the guy. If Jaden Davis is able to get 10, 12 practices under his belt, go out to the Rose Bowl, practice another week for the national title game, that's huge because Michigan will know what they have in him before this transfer portal period ends and the college football playoff, the college second semester comes about. That is on offense. So Jaden Davis, Channing Goodwin, his high school teammates, 2 offensive linemen, Frazier and Guarnera, and then Brady Prieskorn, who, by the way, is being compared in a lot of ways to some of the best tight ends in college football right now. He almost slipped to Michigan State on signing day. I think it was kind of underreported by us, definitely. So that is what it is. So high school audition, Jaden Davis, playoff run. He's going to be around greatness. He's going to be able to watch J.J. McCarthy, even if they're not teammates next year. Going to watch J.J. McCarthy and see how he prepares for a game, see how he has command of the offense, see how he interacts with his coaches and his teammates preparing for the biggest game in the history of this program. So that's big for this team going forward. Let's take a look at the transfer portal quarterbacks before I show you who is out there on defense. There's still a few guys out there. Cam Ward, Washington State, lost 7 of his last 8 games, but's got some stats. Will Howard looks like he's considering the NFL still from Kansas State, but also USC and Ohio State. Speaking of USC, Malachi Nelson, 5-star quarterback from last year's class, right, this freshman year class. He is hitting the road. DJ Uiagalelei from formerly from Clemson, then Oregon State, is going to get 1 more year. And then KJ Jefferson from Arkansas kind of reminds me, honestly, of the quarterback Jalen Milroe from Alabama in his style of play. Out of all those guys, I actually think Will Howard might fit best with Michigan. But those are the players potentially available if and when J.J. McCarthy decides to head to the NFL if it's after this season. How about defense? You've got some local guys, most notably Jacob Oden. He looks like he's already on campus out there, been committed to Michigan forever. Dominic Nichols off the edge. Jeremiah Beasley, right, high school teammate of Bryce Underwood. He is out there as well. And then another linebacker, Cole Sullivan. So those are the 9 players. Most importantly, in my opinion, it is Jaden Davis, part of Michigan's prep for Alabama on Monday. Let me know where you guys are watching this game from, though. Where are you watching this Rose Bowl? The couch, a friend's house, or with friends. The bar, going and whooping it up the day after New Year's. Maybe some people just won't even go to bed, Jack. They'll just pull an all-nighter, keep rolling until 5 o'clock Eastern. Or if you were going to the Rose Bowl, I've got couch from Phil, from Robert, from Corey, from Tim. And then Elric says, come on, Yoder, sell me the T-shirt. Which one? The one I'm wearing? I'm not really sure. I'll have to find it, put it in the live chat at some point later on in the show. So let me know where you guys are watching from. National title odds have kind of been fluctuating all over the place. Here are the most up-to-date national title odds. As I see a $5 super chat come in, we'll get to you, Caden, in just a moment. Plus 180 for Michigan. Plus 190 for Alabama. So, if you're not a mathematician, a mathemagician, this basically means that, the odds that the winner of the Michigan-Alabama game has basically got 2-to-1 odds over Texas, or obviously like much more of that, about 3.5-to-1 or so, over Washington in this national title push. So the odds makers think that the winner of this game, which I don't think is a surprise to anybody, 1 versus 4, but that 4 being Alabama, will win the national title game. All right, we will have more content for you all week if you're watching this on demand. And if anything pops up, of course, I'm going to pull up my laptop, film something right from the hotel room. It's the Michigan Football Report. Go Blue. All right, Jack, that segment's going to go up on the channel on Thursday. What did we say about in the morning, Thursday morning, we said? 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central. That portion will go up if you want to rewatch that if you missed any of it. Caden Pros says, was it Prowse? First time super chat. Wait, what do we do? I forgot the song we did. It's like, hail to Caden Pro super chatter. Da, 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 da. Caden, Michigan, the champions of the West. Go Blue, Caden Pros. Everyone picking Bama makes Michigan feel like underdogs. Michigan seems to play better when everyone doubts us. You think that gives us an advantage? Well, it certainly gives Michigan an advantage over last year TCU game, right? It was the complete opposite. And I'll take put my hand up, foul on me, number 7 Yoder here. Jack, foul on you, right there. We were just taking TCU a little too easy ourselves, right? It wasn't whether Michigan was going to win. It was whether the game would be close or not. And because it's TCU, they just lost to Kansas State. It's TCU. We're going to have to get the Ohio State-Georgia winner, right? We're going to get revenge against Georgia in the national title game. And that's not happening this year. But this isn't the best Alabama team. It's not even. I don't even think it's one of the top 5 Alabama teams over the past decade or so. I really don't think it's one of Nick Saban's better teams overall. Now, defensive side of the ball, they've got some superstars. They've got some guys that can make it happen. But they got your attention, right? If you were a Michigan football player, if you're a Michigan football coach, they have got your attention. This Alabama team, everyone doubting you. This reminds me so much of 2021 Michigan-Ohio State, of 2022 Michigan-Ohio State going down to Columbus. Now, it's all on the coaching staff to put together a game plan and coach like you want to win the game. Have fun, right? I'd love to see Michigan jumping around in pregame, right? Jumping around, doing one of these like they were doing in Nebraska under the lights, like they were jumping around against Wisconsin in 2021. That's what I like to see from this team because I've seen games of them over the year. I mean, most notably the Georgia game 2 years ago. If you saw some of these like Big Ten network feeds of the teams warming up, it looked like they just were like happy to be there, maybe a little scared to be there going against Georgia. So hopefully that's not the case. I do think it gives Michigan a decent advantage. Caden Pros with the $5 super chat. Asked this question a little bit earlier as we've got a ton more to talk about here on the Michigan Football Report. We're going to take your questions. We are going to break down what Michigan needs to do. I think I've identified 5 things from my practice intel that Michigan will do and is planning to do to get the win over Alabama. What year did you become a Michigan football fan? Number 1, number 3 cornerbacks in college. That's what Luke says. I think it's strike 3 he's pointing to. That's right. I think Will Johnson's one of the other ones, though, right? I think Will Johnson's one of the top 3 cornerbacks in college football. And even though he's kind of a nickel in Michigan's scheme, I think Mike Sainristil is probably one of those guys, right? Maybe not in ability, on performance. You can see the best 4 cornerbacks in college football all playing in this game, although I think Mike Sainristil probably projects more to a safety than a true cover corner in the pros. But Alabama's got, Terrion Arnold, of course, Khalid McKinstry, 2 of the best ones. Will Johnson, I think, is the best one, although he didn't get the accolades of first-team All-American because of missing the first 3-4 games of the season. Tim Baker became a fan in 1989. Silk made it. Thanks for the T-shirts. Got him yesterday, Silk, and I emailed you today. We'll follow up. We might have a new T-shirt partner. Silk made it there in the live chat. I think you saw Jeremy, who connected us, come on and do a little boop. So 2014, born in 2010. So Matthew John, a fan at 4 years old, and is currently 13, maybe, 10, 13, unless his birthday's coming up in the next couple of days. Shout out to you, Matthew John. Be a Michigan fan for life, but don't think these last 3 years are all you're going to get as a fan. I mean, sometimes, it depends on when you're born, right? When I was growing up, Jack, Michigan beat Ohio State every single year, and then I became an adult, and it was basically like 20 years of not beating Ohio State, maybe once every 8 years. So hopefully it keeps rolling for you, Matthew John. Zach won't be in the game to save J.J. Yaw's O-line as suspect. Luke is kind of an Alabama guy. Luke, you an Alabama guy? Are you a hater? Or are you just an Alabama guy? We'll see. Caleb Downs, probably the best freshman in the country, he's saying. Strike 3 is coming back with him saying, destroy Bama. Let's keep this thing rolling. Trey almost shut down Brock Bowers. Yeah, Brock Bowers was hobbling around on one leg, so I don't think that is that impressive. I mean, he was not full strength. He was so not full strength, I forgot he was even playing in the game until they kept trying to force the ball down the field. But we're going to take your questions now here on the show. We got a few super chats we can toss in there, Jack, too, from some of the people. Even the one that we just got, the $5 super chat, I think that's worthy of our mailbag. But keep using hashtag Michigan. So use it in the live chat, and it'll pop at the top of Young Harbaugh's queue. Boom, we can put you in the show. This segment we're going to put up, these questions, we're going to put up on the channel on Friday, so 2 days from now. So use hashtag Michigan. I'm going to show you how to do it. If you guys want to pay attention to the super chat, hello. I'm just going to say hashtag Michigan, hello, and it'll pop right to the top of Jack's queue. Do we want to do that? I think we're going to put the giveaway. Let's toss it up there, Jack. We haven't done that yet. We've got a few people, right? If you guys want to do part of our giveaway, 50-50 raffle. They're super exciting. They're super fun. We got one to show the people in a second? Okay, we'll show the people in a second one. Send a Venmo. We've got, I think, 6 Venmos so far. We put out a call yesterday. I'll give you those names here in a second. But we need 4 more. So it's Ashley Lawson. Ashley, I know you're watching. Thank you. Scott Woods, Robert Cerda, C-E-R-D-A, James Waters, or is it Waters? Yeah, Waters. George Heron and Robert Boyce. So we got 6 people in there. 4 more, $10 Venmo to me. Now, why do we do Venmo? It's because, 1, I can send you the winnings right back. And then 2, YouTube doesn't take their 30% cut like they do from Super Chats because it's a 50-50 raffle. Anyone who joins but does not win, you're not going to go away empty-handed. Look what you're going to get. We're going to send these out here in a few days. Just sent the first batch from last week's live show yesterday. So if you were on that last week's live show, in the Venmo giveaway, you will receive one of these probably in the next 7 to 10 days, a little bit after the holidays, but nevertheless, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year from the Michigan Football Report. Go Blue from James and Jack. So anybody who sends in a $10 super chat or $10 Venmo and joins the raffle will get one of those. And also on Venmo, I can reply back and get your address. That's why it makes it super easy, tough to do here on YouTube. We got a $20 super chat coming in from Stuart Yeager. He's saying this is for Mia after hitting Preston twice. All Yoders rock. Go Blue. Lord Yoder for president. Thanks, Stuart. We're gonna get. I don't know. We have to get her something. Getting something. So he gave. I haven't got the gift. So here's what I'll do, Stuart. We got $40 in Hopper from you for Preston, which I haven't executed on yet. We're gonna do this. Jack, send me the Slack. We got $60 in Hopper. We're gonna get the kids something from. We're going to Legoland, Stuart. So maybe that's the play from them to you. 40 for Preston, 20 for Mia. Coming up from Stuart Yeager. With the $20 super chat. He sent those a while back. I just haven't come through and done it. And we decided to take the whole family to Southern California for the Rose Bowl. Son was born there, but hasn't been there since he was 1 year old when we moved out of San Francisco. So they'll get something from you, maybe a little couple Lego for Preston, and we'll see maybe a little Michigan onesie for Mia. Thank you so much to Stuart with a $20 super chat. Let me get that up on screen. Jack, leave that up there for 1 second so I can get make sure I don't misspell the name. Got 2 helmet stickers coming for you, Stuart. I will put one on there right now. J-A-E-J-E. I almost misspelled it. Stuart, we got another helmet sticker coming for you. You will be immortalized on the Michigan Football Report for an entire year, no matter what happens going forward, coming up in early to mid-February when the new season kind of gets rolling after signing day. Oh, there we go. Right there, Stuart. Appreciate that. Got another helmet sticker coming for you after the show. We need to hear from Ace of Spades, though. Ace of Spades, 6407. We owe you a Manscaped giveaway from last week. Might be giving one to Strike 3 as well, because the Super Chat MVP of today's show right now is Strike 3, and he will get himself a Manscaped Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra, whereas Ace of Spades is getting a Manscaped Beard Hedger from last week's show. So use hashtag Michigan or Super Chat to get on the coming up live mailbag that we are going to have there. Jack, where are we on the likes from this show? So last week you had 297 on the live. Yeah, do that. I think we should show people a race as well before we go to the next segment. So, all right, so we're at 96 likes. Last week's live show on the 20th for signing day, we had 297. So once we hit 298, guys, I am going to chug a full beer. They brought me a beer earlier when we started. I'm going to pop it open right now. So we need 202 more likes, and I will chug a full beer live here. That one's a little spicy on the show. So make sure you guys like the video. See if we can get to 100 really quick here before we continue on. With 200 people watching, I don't think it's that much to get 2 more likes. There he goes, 101 likes here on the show. So Jack, let's toss up the Venmo one more time and then show people what they've got with a. Or do you want? We can do that. That's fine. Okay, so there's the QR code if you want, or it is at James-Yoder-1. We need 4 more, and we will do a 50-50 raffle. I'll put it in the live chat here as well. There is a link. It's at James-Yoder-1. Yeah, and everyone gets a Christmas card. So I'll also put in just like a little, if you just want to like copy and paste that what I just put in, or the link is in there. At James-Yoder-1. It's me and my son as a baby. So if you see my face next to a little baby with no hair, that is the right person. We get 4 more. Right now we've got 6, unless I've missed any in the last few minutes. But Jack, while I check that, guys, here's what we're going to be fighting for. The winner of this 50-50 raffle, I'm going to send you $50 back. Once we get 100 in, you're going to get 50. The show will get 50 to keep the lights on. Here's what those bad boys are. Everyone's name gets on there, and then we just roll this. It's automated. It's fun, and it's super exciting to call, actually. So, Jack, whenever you want, roll that footage. Your engines on your marks. Get set. Go! And we are off to the races here. Some guy is coming up the bottom of the screen, making a move. Is John Blaze. Our number 1 super chatter is in the middle of the pack. He's about number 3, Ashley Lawson. Off to an early lead. We know early leads don't always hold here on the go-kart race on the Michigan Football Report. We got our guy strike 3, a little bit back of the pack. Steve Reichardt nose and nose with some guy for the top spot. Back row blue trying to make a move as DJ Ackerman is the back of the pack. Jim Prindable, back of the pack. Wolverine Alaska, back of the pack. Jack, your mom, she's always been fleet of foot. I don't know if she's pressing on that gas pedal hard enough as some guy takes the commanding lead, but he even drops back. He drops. So we got Bruce Guthrie there. Coming up, our last super chatter, our last guy. Down the stretch we come. Oh, no, it's the Bruce. John Blaze coming from the bottom. It's the photo finish. Ashley Lawson, John Blaze. Who was it? John Blaze wins. John Blaze comes out of nowhere. Racing for here. So we got 3 while we put that up on screen. So Steve Hill, I see you. Eric Martin and Nick Chrisman. We've got 3 more. So 1 more Venmo. Jack, you want to put it on there? So while we're doing this segment, after we do this mailbag section, do we have the actual name to put on there as well, or just the QR code? Like there. So there's a QR code if that's easy for you, or just at James-Yoder-1. We've got Steve Hill, Eric Martin, Nick Chrisman, Robert Boyce, George Herron, James Waters, Robert Serda, Scott Woods, and Ashley Lawson. 9 people. Try to get 1 more, and we'll do a 50-50 raffle race and $50 back to the winner. And then the other 9 people are going to get a Christmas card from Jack and I. I'm going to send those out probably while I'm waiting at the airport tomorrow to board my plane. So keep it rolling here. I'll keep an eye on the Venmo, and when we get 1 more in, we will do another one. So checking, nothing at this moment, but if you want to get a Christmas card from us and have a chance to win the 50-50 raffle, send a $10 Venmo in right now, and we will do that race here in about 12 minutes, 15 minutes from now, right after we go through our Michigan football mailbag. Jack, are you ready? Are you ready? Hail Mary for the win. Ashley, I think she's talking about the race.
So there's a bunch of, I believe, Alabama fans in the chat.
Oh.
And what she's saying is, and I saw a comment earlier, which I thought was really funny.
Auburn.
It's so funny how you guys were able to sneak in to the to the college football playoff on a Hail Mary. Like people forget that they snuck in on basically a Hail Mary.
Big time snuck in. This Jermaine Mims, I'm paid and laughing at you broke jokers. No, you're not, Jermaine, because you haven't sent in a $10 Venmo. You can win. If you're a winner, Alabama fan, you'd send in the Venmo and do a 50-50 raffle and hopefully win and make fun of us if you win our race, and then get the Christmas card and say, look at these guys, and use your use it to wipe your butt if you want to. I don't care if you want to do that. But as of now, still haven't got a 10th one in, so we'll do it after this portion. I got Brock saying, cry harder, Brock. You ever seen anybody from Alabama, Jack? I have never met or seen a picture of anyone from Alabama outside Nick Saban, who was in the state of Michigan for a while, was in Ohio for a while, that's got all the teeth, right? I've never seen anyone got all the teeth, and I've probably never seen one that's actually married someone outside their family. It's a real Ace of Spades, 6407. There you go, Ace of Spades. DM me on Twitter or reply to the comment I put on your channel earlier today. We owe you a Manscaped product, Ace of Spades. I see you in the chat. We owe you a Manscaped beard hedger. You won the duck race last week, the Santa race, I think it was last week. So if you can, unless you want to put your address right there in the live chat, I don't recommend it. So either DM me on Twitter at James Yoder or reply to the comment I put on your video earlier today. You've only got one video on your channel, Ace Spades, and we will get that shipped off to you later tonight or sometime this week as soon as I get that information from you. Let's jump into it, Jack. Let's take a dive at this Michigan Football Report mailbag here on the show. All right, let's get it going. We're going to take 15 minutes of your questions right now. We got some questions on the show about who's coming back in 2024, plus Jim Harbaugh. We got Michigan, Alabama. It's going to be a great mailbag here as we're just days away from the Rose Bowl, biggest game in Michigan football history. And we are presented by Manscaped. I love Manscaped products. I've got the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra in my hand. I've got all Manscaped products, and I got it with 20% off and free shipping by using promo code GOBLUE, GOBLUE, no spaces, at manscaped.com. Use that promo code, get yourself 20% off and free shipping. Let's take it before we start into your questions. I want to talk about an update on who's leaving, who's coming back, right? No matter what happens, I think Michigan's going to be in a good spot next year with Kenneth Grant, with Mason Graham, with Will Johnson, of course, with Colston Loveland, a lot of offensive linemen coming back, probably Ernest Hausman. But Michigan could be the number one team in the country next year if J.J. McCarthy and some of these guys come back, or they could have a mass exodus, end up replacing like 13 or 14 stars. I got a little scoop over the last couple of days. Tell you what I know. We're going to go through all the players who could leave or stay. But I'm going to make you this deal. Put the vibes. If you haven't subscribed yet, now is the time. I went to one of these people who were the fortune tellers, Jack, and she said the number of subscribers you get from your mailbag video going out on Friday, that's how many points Michigan's going to score against Alabama. It worked in 2021 against Ohio State. It's got to work now against Alabama. So subscribe to the channel. Put out the good vibes if you're a Michigan football fan. So who's out of eligibility for this team? Mike Sainristil, Michael Barrett coming back for, they're their fifth-year Sainristil, six-year guy for Michael Barrett, redshirt, COVID year. Cornelius Johnson played 5 years. Ladarius Henderson, 6 years, 3 schools. Now, we've actually got some there's some conflicting information. So if I got this wrong, I'll eat it. But from reading what I've read and seeing his playing career, Josh Wallace has another year of eligibility, right? He's got a COVID year. He's got a 4-year redshirt. 4-game redshirt year, but others are saying that he's out of eligibility, but I haven't heard it from him directly. So if you see it coming up and ultimately turns out to be wrong, then it is what it is. But who is likely to go, right? Guys who could come back next year, but are likely to go and head out to the NFL. A couple of these are different than previous weeks. Chris Jenkins, I think it's a no-brainer, but how about these couple of these next ones? Jalen Harrell, 2-year starter at the defensive end, 2022, 2023. He actually has 2 years of eligibility left, right? He's a 4th-year player, but got the COVID year, got a redshirt year. He could come back, but hearing that he's not going to, he thinks he's going to be a 3rd, 4th-round draft pick. He's had enough of college, wants to go to the pros. Trevor Keegan, not surprising. I don't think Roman Wilson's surprising. He could come back. Blake Corum could come back if he wanted to. He's got the COVID year as well. Zach Zinter, I thought there was a chance he could come back, but he has publicly said that he will be heading out. Junior Colson, I think, is a new one, and so is Braden McGregor, right? A few weeks back, we did this, and I said those guys are likely to stay. What I'm hearing lately is that those players are likely to go. Even though Junior Colson's not being projected as a 1st or 2nd rounder, I think he's more like there's just going to have a lot of guys mid to late 2nd round to like 5th round. You're going to hear like 12 or 13 Michigan players picked. I don't think they're going to have any 1st-rounders unless it's J.J. McCarthy, maybe Chris Jenkins, but we will see. Now, who's likely to return? Now, Josh Wallace. This is where I haven't got the intel. The person who gave me this info was like, you got a good question there, James, on Wallace. So we'll have to find out. I'll update this as soon as I know for sure. But if he has another year of eligibility, he will come back. Makari Page as well will be his 2.5 year starting next year if he comes back. Josiah Stewart returning for 4th year in college, 2nd year in Michigan is what I think is going to happen. A.J. Barner as well. Drake Nugent has another year of eligibility, and then Miles Hinton, right? So 2 guys, Nugent a starter. Hinton has been a starter at times for this program, right? Gotta love that extra COVID season. You gotta love it. Michigan, I know some people say, oh, Michigan's got 40 seniors. That's all 6-year guys. That's not true. Michigan, as far as, if anyone says that, they've only got a few 6-year guys on the entire team, right? Michael Barrett is a 6-year guy. Ladarius Henderson, 6-year guy. I don't know if there's another one now. Mike Sainristil's in a COVID season. Cornelius Johnson's in a COVID season. That's pretty much it, though, right? You're not having 5- and 6-year guys all over the field. Now, it could happen again next year. You might get a few guys, more players like that, Josh Wallace, et cetera, if he could return. But that's really not the case that Michigan's using a bunch of 6-year COVID guys like the haters from Alabama, Georgia, Ohio State, etc., will like you to believe. Now, it's a toss-up for these guys. I wish I had better intel. I put JJ, I think, did we have him a few weeks ago, Jack, as likely to return? Is a toss-up as well. JJ McCarthy, although I'm leaning more towards leave. I think it's actually going to come down. It's good and it's bad for Michigan fans in both ways. If he plays well and really tears it up against Alabama, he's going to go to the pros. If he doesn't, he might not get the draft position he wants. He's going to come back. So, you kind of going to win and lose either scenario. But I'd probably rather take it that he beats Alabama, goes to the national title game. You'll lose him next year. I'd rather take that than have him back and hope that we make it back to this point again. Diamond Edwards, toss-up. I'm actually hearing more that he might actually leave, which I think is a bad idea because I think it'd be a 5th or 4th round draft pick unless he absolutely tears it up in the combine or something. Carson Barnhart, toss-up to return. I think he will return. And then Rod Moore, toss-up as well. 3-year starter, only a 3-star coming out of high school, but he has turned into a hell of a player. Had he not been injured for 3 or 4 games this year, I think he definitely would have gone, but had a nice return. And if you guys remember, sealed the game with an interception against Ohio State. Let me ask you guys this question. Does J.J. McCarthy declare for the 2024 NFL Draft? He's got till January 15th to do so. So he has, 20 days or so, 18, 19 days so far. Let me know what you guys are thinking. Go down in the comments and reply. I'll make sure this is the pinned comment beneath the video or the live chat. Give me a Y or an N. Once you come back up, you'll be ready to go with more Michigan football content. But I got to do this ad read from our sponsor, Manscaped. I absolutely love Manscaped. I'll tell you what, Jack. If I didn't have Manscaped, I don't know where I'd be in my personal life in the bedroom because it takes care of things and it's going to take care of you. In 2024, you have confidence thanks to Manscaped, where resolutions are met and hairs are neatly kept. As the new year approaches, why not make self-improvement a breeze by keeping your body well-groomed? Introducing Manscaped's Performance Package 5.0 Ultra, the ultimate all-inclusive kit designed to help you feel clean, cut, and confident as you should. We love the Manscaped products here at the Michigan Football Report. It features the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra, which is the next-gen trimmer that ensures precision and ease when tackling your toughest hairs. So, kick off 2024 with a trim above the rest using code GOBLUE, that's GOBLUE, at manscaped.com. Get yourself 20% off and free shipping. We sent out some Manscaped products to a few viewers. We got Ace of Spades. We've got Jacksonville Zoe we sent one out to. Get going, 20% off and free shipping. You saw those products right there, right? They're throwing in the Boxers 2.0. Super silky comfortable. They're amazing. And then the thing I never travel without, which is the Shed 2.0 toiletry bag. Puts all my stuff in there. Got a little handle. Boom. Can fit right in the bottom of my carry-on. Resolutions may come and go, but a well-groomed you is here to stay with Manscaped's latest and greatest products. Link is in the comments and the description and in the live chat. Manscaped.com. You got to use promo code GOBLUE for 20% off and free shipping. Keep things rolling here on the show with more Michigan football burning questions. All right, we just asked you, will J.J. McCarthy declare for the NFL draft? I'm going to go with yes at this point. I think he's going to play well against Alabama. His stock will kind of go right back up to the top. Got some questions, though, from the audience. Bill Graves saying, if we beat Alabama, who would you want to play for the national title and why? It's a pretty simple question. I don't have to think about this too long. I would rather play Washington for a few reasons. The why. Geographically, the game is in Texas. You would have 75% Texas fans there, I would guess, because it's a drive, right, for almost everybody that lives in the state of Texas. So that's one. Number two, Texas has higher-level talented players across the board, all right? And then, the third one being that I think Michigan can beat both of these teams, but I like Michigan's defense against that kind of air raid style. Although I think they have better receivers in Texas, I think Michigan's defense matches up better against Washington than they would against Texas. And so I just want to put Michigan in the best chance to win, but I think Michigan will and could beat either of those teams. Caden Powers coming in. He says, everyone's picking Alabama. It makes me feel Michigan feel like underdogs. They seem to play better when everyone doubts them. Do you think this gives them an advantage? I do. I think it was the opposite last year. Everyone was just saying Michigan's in the national title game. Georgia's Ohio State. That's all we've got to worry about. Michigan's already got their ticket. They're booking tickets for LA at the Rams Stadium, but that's not how it went down. I think Michigan got overconfident. I was overconfident. I think the players and the coaches were. I think they were game planning for Georgia during the TCU week. And they didn't change anything up. Jack and I had some TCU players tell us that hey, Michigan, they just played with the tendencies. When this guy was in, we knew where the ball was going. When this player went in motion, we knew the pass was going this side, and it resulted in 2 pick sixes. And they said they knew exactly what pass Michigan was going to. So I'm hoping that Michigan approaches this game because of the underdogs, because, not betting underdogs, right? But maybe public perception underdogs, that they will, show up and shock the world in some ways like they did against Ohio State 2 years ago and even last year in 2022, did this year, of course, as the favorite. Big house party. This is a funny question here. He's saying, is Jim Harbaugh stupid? Doesn't he realize that every NFL coach gets fired eventually, including himself, right? Including himself, which is kind of interesting. Yeah, I don't know if he's stupid. It's tough to say what the allure is to Jim Harbaugh with the NFL. I kind of feel that he did what he did. He got out of the NFL for a reason because he didn't get along with his GM. He didn't get along with his owner. He didn't feel the love, right? And he couldn't get the quarterback he wanted. He couldn't get that, right? Colin Kaepernick, Alex Smith, he made the 3 NFC championship games with those guys, but they weren't superstar quarterbacks. So I don't necessarily know what the allure is other than winning at the highest level of football. But if you can't beat Nick Saban coming up on Monday, which I think they will, if you're losing by 3-4 scores to Georgia, if you're losing to TCU, I just think he'd want to jump across that. So I agree. If he goes back to the NFL, he'll probably get a job that he thinks he can win in. But I bet 5 years from now, he'd either be getting fired because they go 8-8 one year, or he's just not feeling the love from his new owner, wherever that may be. Let me ask you guys this question in the live chat, in the comments below. If you're watching this on Friday, what year did you become? I'm sorry. Who was Michigan's quarterback? I apologize. Who was Michigan's quarterback the season you became a fan? For me, it's Elvis Gerbach is the one. He was Michigan's starting quarterback, 89-90. The first year I knew about him was 91, and then, of course, stuck around for 92 after his high school teammate Desmond Howard went on to the pros. So let me know who the quarterback was for Michigan the year you became a fan. Blue Veins with the question saying, tell me the things Michigan needs to do in order to win a national title. We saw this question earlier. So, Jack, we've got my list of things Michigan must do. I think it's something going over here because it hits this question right on the head. So here's my list. To win this game, Michigan must, okay? And maybe this is not grammatically correct, but they must. You can't let Jalen Milroe scramble at will. If you look at his stats, and maybe pull up that stat. Do we have that one now, Jack, about his stats? You know it somewhere. Jalen Milroe rushing stats. Go up in a second. I'll come back to it. 150. So what's up about a little stat on Jalen Milroe here in a moment. But Michigan themselves has to get 150 yards. There it is right there. So 479 of his 693 yards this year have come when he's on scrambling, right? When he's scrambling away from the defense, mostly a called pass play, only 214 of them came on designed quarterback runs. So you just kind of see he's getting all of his yards when he looks left. Well, he's kind of a one-read quarterback, right? Short pass, or he's going to bomb it downfield. He's not doing these intricate routes and hitting his third and fourth guy. He's just taking off and running. Michigan knows that. They've got to account for it. So don't let him scramble at will. Got 75% or so of his yards on scrambles this year. Michigan themselves has to get 150 yards on the ground. I've looked at a lot of what Alabama's done to lose games over the past 10 years or so. It's not always the case, but if you think about this kind of team, I think if Michigan can impose the will on the ground, at least get 150, that's not crazy. They can and will win this game. You got to keep in mind with deep passes. Alabama, they don't respect Michigan's wide receivers. They're going to creep the lineup, and they are going to try and stop the run for Michigan. Michigan's just got to take shots deep. Even if they don't complete them all the time, I still think keeping them deep is going to keep those safeties and corners a little on their toes. Open up just one little space is what Donovan Edwards or Blake Corum needs to make a big run happen. Don't be predictable, right? Put Max Bradison in the game and pass the damn ball for once. Put Alex Orji in the game and don't let him run the Wildcat. Have Donovan Edwards go out to the side. Don't run the screenplay to him. Have Samaj Morgan in the game. When he goes in motion, have him go back like they did with Devontae Smith at Alabama, right? Have him go motion one side or the other, stop behind the line of scrimmage, go back the other way, hit him on there, right? Michigan's too predictable in some of these big games, and they certainly need to change that. And they have fun, play to win. I've said it a few times through this live show, through the shows last week. Nebraska in 2021, Wisconsin in 2021, Ohio State in 2022, Penn State in 2021. Go there and have some damn fun and play like there's nothing to lose, because there's not anything to lose. You're going to lose either way. But if you play with nothing to lose, you play to win the damn game, and you coach to win like Sharon Moore did against Ohio State, and Michigan will win. They play tentative and play, risky. Oh, man, it's 4th and 1 at the 50-yard line. We're going to punt. You're going to lose the game. Take a look at this Alabama offense so far this year through 13 games. They are 12-1. Number 53 ranked team in the country is according to yards. So this isn't like a vintage Tua or Jalen Hurts Alabama offense. 59th in the country at 228 passing yards a game, 172.7 rushing yards a game, tied for 46, and then 35.1 points per game, 18th in the country. Now, over to the defense. This Alabama team has had, I think it was 6. I have to look. We have to pull up the record at one point. But they've had a lot of close games so far this year. That's the stat. They've only had 2 games this year against Power 5 teams that they won by double digits. And that's kind of crazy. The 19th ranked defense in the country, I think that's their strength. But plenty of quarterbacks, Jaden Daniels, Quinn Ewers, the multifaceted quarterback running back attack from Auburn have put up yards on this team. Now, Michigan's receivers, if they are going to win this game, a couple of these guys or A.J. Barner has got to make some plays. I'm not sure if it's going to be Roman Wilson. I'm not sure if it's going to be Cornelius Johnson. 2 guys I like Colston Loveland. I like A.J. Barner. I like Donovan Edwards to make plays because Terry Arnold, Kool-Aid McKinstry, they're going to shut down Roman Wilson and Cornelius Johnson, I think, unless Michigan becomes very creative in the play-calling trees and the route trees. Let me ask you guys the question, who will lead Michigan in catches against Alabama? I think it's Loveland. I really think it is. I think Jim Harbaugh has proven in the past that he is kind of a tight end whisperer, which I'll talk about later in the live show video coming up for you this weekend. Harbaugh, the tight end whisperer. I think it's going to be Colston Loveland. Let me know what you guys think in the comments or in the live chat. Here we go from Michael. Is Michigan's playoff experience an advantage over Alabama? It's got to be, right? Jalen Milroe doesn't know what it's like to be in a playoff game. Jermaine Burton doesn't know. Kool-Aid McKinstry's not been in the playoffs, right? Dallas Turner hasn't been a playoff quarterback. Now, they just won a playoff atmosphere game against Georgia in the SEC Championship in Atlanta. But Michigan's won, at Penn State this year, Ohio State without your head coach, right? No one in the history of college football has faced the adversity without losing a game that this Michigan football team has. And they've got that bad taste in their mouth of Georgia, which maybe nothing they were going to do about that one. Such a bad taste with TCU. I think this team is laser focused on beating Alabama. And then after that, they'll celebrate for half a night on to the Natty. Big House Bro saying, saw your tweet about Saban. Kind of crazy. So that's what come up in the live chat. Jack, I didn't pull the tweet, did I? Or did I? No, I didn't. Jack's got it for me on a nice little graphic. Look at you, Jack. That's what we call you, super producer Jack. I tweeted this out replying to Josh Page. It's like, what's one college football opinion that'll get you, roasted, yada, yada. Mine was that Nick Saban's won 7 national titles. He's got really lucky in winning those national titles. Now, he performs when they get into the playoff, but he can only have 1, 2, or 3 of them. I think 2015 is the only year I think he really won it. No questions asked, because look at these ones right here. Lucky Nick Saban. Let's go to 2003 when he was with LSU. Okay? LSU played Oklahoma, beat them, but the number 1 team in the country was USC, and because of the BCS formulas, USC dropped number 3 in the computers and all that, and they didn't get in the national title game, so you didn't have to play the best teams. Okay, cool there. Then you go back forward 6 years, first national title game at Alabama. Colt McCoy, legendary quarterback there. I think Texas wins that game. He gets hurt. True freshman has to come in, and Alabama wins that game. 2 years later, they lose to LSU. They don't win their division in the SEC. They don't win the SEC, and because of a last game of the year loss by Oklahoma State, they sneak back in. They get a rematch against LSU. Boom, win a national title. Probably shouldn't have won that one. How about the next year? Back-to-back titles, 2012. Well, remember who number 1 team in the country was that year? It was Ohio State, but they were on probation from the Jim Tressel and Terrell Pryor tattoo gate. They couldn't get in there, so number 3 Alabama gets in the title game against an overrated Notre Dame team with Manti Te'o and Lene Kakoy. Didn't get it, whatever. Okay, 2017, didn't win the division, right? Lost to Auburn. Auburn's in the SEC title game. Auburn loses to Georgia. Georgia goes there, and then Alabama gets a shot against Georgia. They beat them despite not winning their own division. And then 2020, COVID season, they played an Ohio State team that only had 5 regular season games. Alabama was the only team that wasn't testing. I'm not sure if anybody even should have been, but a lot of teams lost games because of COVID, the positive tests, and all this different stuff. So just trying to take that and just demystify Nick Saban for a second, right? He hasn't been perfect. 7 national titles. It's tough to argue. I know that, but it's not like all those were start to finish, just amazing teams, et cetera, right? Every one of those years, I think, has a loss in it, right? LSU 2007, 2009, I can't remember. But I think that one was undefeated. But 11, 12, 20, they were undefeated in 20. But there's a lot of circumstances that led to have him having this title. And other teams, right? I want to say Ohio State, but I think Urban Meyer probably has 1 or 2 more national titles if he gets the right bounces either at Florida or at Ohio State over the years. 2012, his first year, 2015, they were probably the best team in the country both those years. Let me know where you guys are watching from here on our Michigan Football Report mailbag. Shout out your city down in the comments or in the live chat. I'll give a few shout outs here in the live show in a moment, but let me know where you are watching from. We're in Dallas. By lunchtime tomorrow, I will be in San Diego, and then coming up on Sunday, I will be heading up to Santa Monica, then to go to the Rose Bowl on Monday. Let me know where you are watching from. Perrysburg, Ohio, from Corey Dean. I've been there. I spent a week there one night. Bill Graves with the questions using hashtag Michigan. Do you think special teams will be a deciding factor? If so, who is the advantage? Well, and it's tough. I mean, with Michigan right now, this season, it's tough to say it'll be a deciding factor for them. And if it is, I think Michigan would have the advantage, right? I'll tell you a couple reasons why. One, Samaj Morgan, right? Could have been the difference, right? That was a bad Iowa team, but that was really the only spark they had early on in that game that returned down to about the 4 or 5 yard line. His first punt return as a college player took it down to the 5 yard line. Okay, that's one. So I think that's an advantage over Alabama in the return game now with Samaj Morgan emerging. But how about James Turner, all right? Absolute ice in his veins down the stretch of this season. Penn State, Maryland, Ohio State game. He was absolutely stunning. It made you kind of forget in some regards about Jake Moody, right? So James Turner, Samaj Morgan, I think Michigan would have the advantage of special teams. And over the last 3 or 4 years, right, 3 years specifically, Jay Harbaugh as a special teams coach, Michigan's the best special teams, I think, in all of college football. Go back to some score predictions. I'll give some shout-outs for where you are watching from. Lanny Schrock says Tennessee. Luke says, I watch every Michigan game. Y'all are amazing. Luke also says, I'm an Alabama fan. I can't believe we almost lost to Auburn, who got blown out by New Mexico State. It's insightful, Luke. And if we played Georgia 10 times, they'd win 9 out of 10. So we got lucky. Luke, Alabama fan, but I like him. What I like about Luke here is he's being honest, right? He's not this blowhard saying, oh, Alabama, this and that. Luke's saying, they should have lost to Georgia, would most years, and that Nick Saban is the luckiest coach in the history of college football. St. Mary's, Ohio is where Greg's watching from. Let's see. Cowan. All right. Who else we got here? If you guys want me to ban Luke or put him in timeout, type yes, but you don't have to if you don't want to. At the very top of the pin, the live chat, by the way, is the link to my Venmo. We're going to see if we've gotten any in that segment. If not, we are going to. There we go. We got Derek Keith. So we got one more. So last call while Jack is taking a quick break. Last call. If anyone wants to get in this 50-50, as I got Derek, I'm going to send this to Jack. Derek Keith. Let's see what you guys got. Send me a $10 Venmo, and you can be in this next race. 50-50 raffle. Anyone who sends in $10, even if you don't win the 50-50 raffle, we're going to do one of these duck races in a second. You're going to get a Christmas card from Jack and I. So send that over. Now right now, we've got 10, but we'll do one more. If you guys want, we'll do one more for this one. Anybody who sends in after this one, we'll maybe do a second duck race, or if we don't get enough, I would send your $10 back. I wouldn't keep it all by any means. So Derek Keith, you're in the duck race. We've got our 10 people. Derek Keith, Nick Chrisman, Eric Martin, Steve Hill in this duck race. Robert Boyce, George Herron, James Waters, Robert Serda, Scott Woods, and Ashley Lawson. Let's keep it rolling here on the Michigan Football Report. Let's get some score predictions. I want to put a poll here. I haven't done one of these. Jack usually does it. I'm going to see. I'm going to unpin this message, and then can we create a poll? Let's find out. Ooh, there we go. Let's see. What do we think a poll question should be? So how about this? 140 Michigan. I think it should be 140 rushing yards. Jack, we got one. We got another Venmo, so I sent you the name. Yep. I want to ask you guys this question so I just started a poll. All right, so Michigan, 140 rushing yards against Alabama, more or less. I put it in the live chat. Vote on it in the live chat. We'll come back to it here in a second. Put that Venmo up one more time, Jack, the one with my name and everything on there. Let's see if we can get anybody else who wants to join for this duck race. Then we got a couple of duck races. Let's make it actual fun. We've got the Harbaugh one, right? We got the Michigan-Alabama one. Do you guys want to see strike 3, Ashley Lawson saying go blue, Vic saying 31-17, Michigan? we're gonna do a couple of duck races to warm up the people, and we're gonna do one Michigan versus Alabama, Jim Harbaugh. So there's the Venmo at James-Yoder-1. I'll put a link to it if you want to join this 50-50 raffle in the live chat. 75% of the people so far, after 20 quick votes, first 20 votes, say more for Michigan, 140 rushing yards against Alabama. We got plenty more of the show to come. We're going to talk about how Michigan's going to beat this Alabama team. Plus, we are going to give you guys the opportunity to ask questions. Use hashtag Michigan or Super Chat to get yourself on the show. I think we just had another one come in. I think we had another one come in. There we go. Matthew Ormsby. Haven't seen him in a bit, but he's at least getting Ormsby. Yep. I pronounced it the first one since his high school physics teacher, I think he said last week, to pronounce it correctly. So there it is. So here's what we got. Michigan, Alabama. We are going to I'm not saying this is guaranteed, but if Michigan wins this, I think it's a guarantee that they win. Alabama, faulty system, all right?
Yeah, so basically the way that we have it is if Michigan wins, they're absolutely winning. If Alabama wins, the computer's fraudulent and the AI is screwing with us. They're having a little joke.
It means that Nick Saban got lucky again and backed his way in.
Another lucky championship for
Saban or something like that. Yeah, probably got a better car, whatever it is. So let's see. Who do you guys think is going to win this one? We're going to do a duck race as we got Matthew Ormsby, we've got Derek Keith, Eric Martin, Ashley Lawson, Steve Hill, Nick Chrisman, some more. Scott Woods, Robert Serda, James Waters, George Heron, and Robert Boyce going to do a 50-50 raffle. Let's see if you guys are feeling this, though. Michigan versus Alabama. Then we're going to do one Jim Harbaugh versus Nick Saban. Let's see it, Jack. Ready to roll? On your mark. All right, one. Teams, start your engine. On your mark. Get set. Go! We are off to the races. The Michigan Football Report. It's Michigan at the top of your screen. Alabama in the green car. They're green. It's kind of like what they're paying their players before NIL. They just pay them with green to get the best recruits, to pay off the refs. That's Alabama. Michigan back in the blue car. They're taking the lead. The Wolverines have the lead with about 40 seconds left in this race. It is the Michigan Football Report. We are 5 days away. Michigan, Alabama. We'll probably know about middle of the second quarter right now. In 5 days from now, 30 seconds left. Michigan's got a little lead, half-car lead over Alabama. Here's how it's going to be, Jack. The third quarter, Michigan's got the lead. No, Alabama's got the lead back. Michigan get a point in the third quarter. Can't be. Coming down the stretch, 15 seconds. We're in the fourth quarter. Fourth quarter of this race. Let's see what we got. Michigan, a hair back. 10 seconds left. Alabama with the lead. Alabama's got the lead. They're holding on to the ball. Michigan making a late surge. 4 seconds left. Michigan at the buzzer. Michigan wins! Michigan wins! Michigan wins! Going to the national championship game. You can't script it any better. Coming back, J.J. McCarthy went down the field, hit Colston Loveland, 15 yards, touchdown. Michigan wins. He's just jumping up and down with those handlebars. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. That was electric. Tim McCoy, Michigan wins by 7. Oh, baby. Where you at, Luke? In your face. In your face. Oh, baby. Who's the best Michigan quarterback of all time? I'm going to let you guys tell me that. I think it's J.J. McCarthy. He's going to get this win like we just saw. So we're 2 for 2. We let chance happen twice, Jack. Chugged the 10 seconds, right? And this race, both came up Michigan. How can anything go wrong in this one? Jim said I saw a Bigfoot in the background. I didn't know. I didn't see that. That'd be pretty cool if he did. Let's go. Let's go. All right. J.J. McCarthy says, Tim, let me know who you guys think the best Michigan football quarterback is of all time. Make sure you guys like this video, by the way. We're still about 160 or so likes away from me chugging a full beer. Give us a like here on the show. We've got another one coming up. All right, Jim Harbaugh, a lot of people think he might be the best quarterback in Michigan football history, right? Third in the Heisman Trophy in 1986. First-round draft pick. Jack, you might be surprised. Jim Harbaugh, last first-round draft pick quarterback for Michigan. Yeah. Yep, JJ will be the next. So it's Nick Saban and Jim Harbaugh. This is bad vibes, right? Harbaugh on the red car. But what we could do, and Saban's got the blue too, but Michigan's number 1. So I like that. I think Harbaugh is just trying to say, hey, I'm gonna suck your blood, Alabama. That's what he's saying there. So we got Nick Saban at the top of your screen. Jim. That's right. It's like a bullfighter a little bit, right? Yeah. I've got it. We're number 1. We get to pick the uniform, so we're taking it from you, Alabama. So who's going to win this? Jim Bobson says John Navarre. Not a bad one. I don't think he's my number 1, but you can't argue with some of the stats and numbers and games that he won back in 2020 or 2001, 2, and 2003. Let's see who's going to win this one. Nick Saban, Jim Harbaugh. By the way, I swear to you on my life, there's no way we can rig this. So whatever happens, happens. Whatever happens, happens. Coaches, start your engines. Ready, mark. Get set. Let's go off to the races. Nick Saban gets off to a hot start. Jim Harbaugh, slow start, a little running game here going. That's fine. Harbaugh is back in the slight lead. 10 seconds into this Michigan Football Report coaches race. Duck Race, if you want to get in the next one, if you want your name called in the next one, Venmo me right now at James-Yoder-1. Jim Harbaugh, Nick Saban. Put the link in the live chat as we are 25 seconds into this race. Coming up on halftime, these teams are neck and neck. Harbaugh slightly above Saban as we hit the 30-second mark halfway through this. Harbaugh's got the slight lead. I don't like this, Jack, because what happens in these races, whoever's got the slight lead always kind of falls back at the end. I don't like this. 20 seconds to go. We're halfway through the third quarter. Jim Harbaugh's holding on to the lead. 16, 15, we're in the fourth quarter. Harbaugh's taking a commanding lead. Michigan's up 10 late in the game. Can they hold on? 9, 8, Nick Saban's coming back. No. Who's going to win? 4, 3. Who's Jim! Harbaugh wins! Harbaugh holds off! Michigan wins! Michigan wins. We're 3 for 3. Oh, baby. You can't script it better. If you guys want to get the next one, we'll do one now. 50-50 raffle, and everyone gets a Christmas card from Jack and I. Put the Venmo in right there. I'll give you guys 1 minute, and then we're going to do the race with the 11 Venmoers that have sent them in for this next one. So $55 coming to the winner, unless we get anybody else joining. Matthew Ormsby, Derek Keith, Steve Hill, Eric Martin, last few to come in on this show. Worst case, you get one of these lovely Christmas cards. Jack and I posing after last week's show in the Chat Sports lobby, way up in the front. Rocket, I got the 47 replica helmet. Jack's got the actual helmet. And we got these, I think I had my wife design them on like Etsy and then print them up with CVS, Jack. They will print them and ship them for you for like $1 a card, $1.50 a card. So here we go. Let's just give one more second to see if we got anybody sending over there. Okay, none. So we're going to do this race. So one more time, make sure everyone who's in the race is getting their just due. Ashley Lawson, Stott Woods, Robert Serda, James Waters, George Herron, Robert Boyce in this race. Also have Steve Hill, Eric Martin, Nick Chrisman, Derek Keith, and Matthew Ormsby.
No one's going home empty-handed. Everyone gets a Michigan Football Report Christmas card that has joined this race.
Yes, they do. All right, Jack, you ready? By the way, who do you guys think is going to win this one? Who do you guys think is going to win this one? What I'm going to do, Jack, is I'm going to let people decide. See if we can get anyone to guess it right. I'll put the names in the live chat for a second. Oh, it formats them all terribly. Oh, brutal. That's fine. Where is the rest of the names? Okay, so Steve. There we go. So there's some of the. Oh, that formatted terribly. I'm not going to do it. So because it formats them poorly. So who do you guys think is going to win this game? It's reading for you one more time. Let's put the first name: Ashley, Scott, Robert, James, George, Robert B. So 2 Robert C, Robert B. Steve Hill, Eric, Nick, Derek, or Matthew. Let me know who you guys think you're going to win. Ashley Lawson saying, me, I'm going to win. Let's see who's going to win. All right, Jack, I think I'm ready. I think I'm ready to go. You ready? All right. Ashley Lawson, Nick Chrisman, Eric Martin, Derek Keith, Matthew Ormsby. Start your engines. Go to the Michigan Football Report, 50-50 raffle, $55 to the winners online. Everyone else gets a Christmas card. Start your engines. On your mark. Get set. Go! We are off to the races here on the Michigan Football Report. James Yoder here on the mic with young Harbaugh, Jack Latteray behind the screen as we are 10 seconds into this race. It's a close race so far. Matthew Ormsby took the lead, but he fell back. George Herron's got a slight lead as we are rounding in 2/3 of the way to go. 20 seconds into this race. Ashley Lawson down at the bottom of the screen. Pink, she pulled up to about first place. Pulled back. What happened there, Ashley? Robert Serda, he's making a move. George Herron in the green has basically led for the past 20 seconds. I don't know, George. I think sometimes you're getting a little too far ahead of yourself. You're running the gas down the stretch. Matthew Ormsby, the top of your screen, making a move. We're in the last 16 seconds. 15, 14. It's Matthew Ormsby. It's Ashley Lawson. Let's go, Ashley Lawson. 10, 9, 8, 7. Ashley Lawson. Down the stretch they come. No, she's falling back. She's falling back, Ashley. What happened? Who's going to win this one? At the goal line, it's a photo finish. It's a photo finish. James Waters, Ashley. Oh, I thought you had it, Ashley. I'm sorry. I think you're gonna Christmas card anyways, but I was pulling for Ashley. You can't cheer in the press box. I was pulling for Ashley. James Waters. So let me send that over. Oh man, woo. Okay, James Waters. I'm just going to reply back. Everyone else, by the way, who sent one in. If you're watching, just comment on your $10 Venmo to me, your address, so we can send you one, or wherever address you feel comfortable, your office, whatever, we'll send you one of those Christmas cards. And then if not, later tonight or tomorrow morning, I will message you. It's like, hey, thanks for playing. Give me your address. We're going to send you this here Christmas card. Let me send this off to $55, right? Duck race winner. All right. You have got yourselves $55 on that duck race. Appreciate it. So Jim Harbaugh beat Nick Saban. Michigan beat Alabama. Chugs beat 10 seconds. So I think some good omens out there, Jack. Yeah, it is in stone. So got to root for yourself, Ashley says. I totally agree with that one. I got a little itch on my forehead. That's okay. Let me know what you guys think. Who you got in this one? A or M? Alabama or Michigan? Michigan or Alabama? 127 likes. 150 people watching. Like the video. Let me know what you guys are thinking on the Michigan football report as we have crossed the 91-minute mark here on this final live show of a national championship calendar year. But Michigan's got 2 more games to play in this season. They're going to both be played in the year of 2024. Sure, toss up the super chat menu, Jack, for a second. Just make sure people know how they can join the show in any way. So super chat if you want to join the show. We still got about 45 minutes more left in the show, so you can get all involved. Super chat, you'll get on the show. $5, we'll put your question on the show live. $10, you will get on the hard hat, so I'll put you on the new hard hat from last week's show, and you will be on the end credits of 5 videos per week at least. Maybe a couple times in the summer, might be less than that. Basically 80-90% of our videos this next season starting in the second week of February for the entire next calendar year. $50 or $20, send Jack to Houston Fund. I don't know, Jack, you already hit it. Should we change that? But how about this? Pay for Jack's meal, so he doesn't have to do ramen in Houston Fund, $20 or $50, anything between $20 or $50. And the MVP is getting themselves a lawnmower 5.0. Do we have the MVP list? It's just I know it's strike 3 as of right now, but maybe show the people where they're at. Strike 3 with the $200. Ashley Lawson with the $50. A couple other ones in there, of course. I forget, I'm losing track of my names, etc. Ashley Lawson, of course, in there. Matt Shook, I remember that one for sure. Brad Bucherite with the supers in this show. So appreciate everyone who is super chat. Ace of Spades, hopefully you are still listening. Make sure you DM me on Twitter or reply to my comment on your video. I haven't seen John Blaze in 2 shows, by the way. I haven't seen our guy Steve today. I'm looking at some people from recent there. Bruce Guthrie, thanks so much for your supers the last couple shows. Gregory Martin, $10 super chat coming in again from Brad. Get himself a 3rd sticker, I think it is, on this show. I'll do one now because it's $10 more. He just says, Jack, bet. He just says, bet. So just like Jim Harbaugh said at the Big Ten Championship game, just like all the Michigan football players, Chris Jenkins, J.J. McCarthy, Blake Corum, tweeted out before the Penn State game when Jim Harbaugh was suspended 20 hours before kickoff, where he'd already taken off on a plane, headed to Happy Valley to get another 10 spot for Brad. And make sure I don't misspell anyone's name. Brad, you're getting yourself a 3rd helmet sticker today, and immortality. Make sure you get update that $10 on the leaderboard, Jack, for Brad. So Brad, I'm going to put you right next to you got one right there. So put you next to Ashley Lawson, right? That's a good combo of people. Ashley, Brad, you guys are right in there. Stuart Yeager, giving the Yoder kids a Christmas present, $40 for Preston, $20 here for Mia, the baby, soon to be a toddler here at the Yoder household. So that is the ability for Super Chat. Right now, we have got Strike 3 in the lead, right? 6 Super Chatters so far on today's show. Strike 3, 200 Ashley Lawson with a 50 spot. Brad Bucherite with 30. Matt Shook 20. Stuart Yeager 20 as well. And then Caden Pros with a $5 Super Chat. So if anybody wants to play fun with Strike 3, I think he might have it in the bag, though, Jack. Might be tough for that one. Brett, from Brad, we got yourself another sticker. 3 stickers for Brad, 5 for Ashley, 20 stickers coming up from Strike 3, and he is leading the way for this Manscaped giveaway. So strike three, assuming you hold on to this lead, I will DM you after the show. I have your address. We were talking earlier today, funny enough. So we'll make sure we get that for you, off to you as well, a Manscaped Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra. All right, Jack, let's go inside the Michigan football game plan. All right. This is the one I think is the best segment we're going to do on the show today. So if you haven't watched the show and you're wondering what you're watching right now, we're having some fun. We're drinking a beer or two. We're doing duck races. But I think this next portion is the best info I've had on the game plan of this team in probably over a year. So let's take a stab at it. The Michigan Football Report. I'm James Yoder. That's Jack Lottery. Let's go inside Michigan's game plan against Alabama. Which of these teams has the better quarterback? Is it Michigan's J.J. McCarthy, or is it Jalen Milroe, benched after their second game in a loss to Texas earlier in the year, got the job back a week later after his backup, of course, didn't get the job done himself. He's come on the last 5-6 weeks, Hail Mary to beat Auburn, and then got the job done against number 1 Georgia. Let me know who you guys think who the better QB is. We're going to break that down in a second, but I'll ask you guys this question in the live chat or in the comments if you're watching it on demand, as this video will go up on Saturday. Are you headed to Pasadena for the Rose Bowl? By the time this goes up on the channel, I'll be about 12 hours, 13 hours away from heading up north, 2-hour drive from San Diego to the Santa Monica, so I can go to the Rose Bowl. Heading up on Sunday. Game is, of course, on Monday. Let me know if you head there. Give me a Y for yes or an N for no. Quarterback matchup might be what decides this game. J.J. McCarthy has been the more accurate quarterback, but maybe not as of late, maybe not downfield. I think some of those reasons could go into the fact that Michigan's route trees aren't that elaborate by any means. J.J. McCarthy has been battling knee and ankle injuries from the Purdue game to the Penn State game and beyond, Maryland, Ohio State, and Iowa. And Jalen Milroe, give him credit. He has gotten progressively better. They found a system that has worked for him to do what he does best, which is kind of one read short or long, or just take off running for Nick Saban's Alabama team that beat the number 1 team in the country and has a chance to beat the number 1 team in the country in back-to-back games. Georgia in the SEC title game, and then, of course, Michigan coming up, which I don't think they're going to do, but that is what the stakes are. My ask and my prediction for Michigan to win this game is run, JJ, run. I think Michigan's the better team, but the part of that thinking is not just dropping back 5-step drops and throwing the ball downfield or handing off to play Corum. It is what we've seen all year this year, last year, from J.J. McCarthy, making plays on his feet, whether it's rolling out, hitting the guy down the sideline, scrambling, or, throwing it across the field, almost getting the ball intercepted, catching people off guard against Ohio State, or just, take it off and run 15 yards, 8 yards, 12 yards, maybe even more. Who has the better quarterback of this team? I think it could be as simple as that in a lot of ways. It comes down to the third quarter, comes down to the fourth quarter. You got to get a score to win the game. You got to keep a drive alive to hold on to that lead, like Michigan did against Ohio State, of course, with probably just as much talent on the defensive side of the ball, at least out of high school recruiting, as Alabama. J.J. McCarthy, for me, is the guy that can get it done. Quick ask for you guys, if you've yet to do so, subscribe to the channel. We want to end this year strong. We want to make sure that we are bringing our full force of a Michigan Football Report fan base on this channel into every show we can into this Alabama game and have the most people watch in the post-game. So subscribe to the channel if you've yet to do so. Put those noties on as well. You get our post-game video the second I get Cell Signal walking out of the Rose Bowl after Michigan beats Alabama. I'm just going to pop my phone and go live on YouTube. Jalen Milroe running. This stat's kind of crazy. 693 positive rushing yards so far this year. So it's not actually his stat count because he's had negative ones that comes off in college, but of the 693 positive rushing yards he's had this year, 479 of them have come on scrambles, which meaning that of the remaining 214 positive rushing yards, only 214 of those came on designed quarterback runs. You see a guy with almost 700 positive rushing yards for the year. You think, wow, this guy could scramble, this guy can run. They must be doing a lot of things, read options, all this. No, it's not that. 75-80% of his rushing yards are coming on scrambles. It's a designed pass, either short, covered, long, covered. Okay, I'm just going to boop, 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 take off running. And that's what Michigan's got to stop. And it's different than probably any quarterback they have faced this season. So let's take a look at some players on Alabama who might be nicked up a little bit in this game. So Jace McClellan. Missed starting running back for the season for Crimson Tide. He was a 5-star recruit, 3.5, 4 years ago. Missed the SEC title game with a foot injury, but rumors are that it could be a game-time decision. We talked to our insider, Chris Daughtry, not the singer, but Chat Sports' own Alabama Football Report. He said he's going to be fine. He's going to play. We shall see. Didn't play in their last game. Kool-Aid McKinstry, maybe the best player on this Alabama roster. Their starting cornerback, going to be a top 15 pick in the NFL draft. He left the Georgia game with a concussion in the third quarter, did not return. Also, Chris said, hey, he's going to be okay, he's going to be fine, but we'll see, right? Concussions aren't something that always happen. If he gets, I'm not saying I want him to be injured or anything, but it could be one of those things that he does play. First time he takes a hit from Blake Corum coming around the edge or something like that, boom, he's knocked up, his head's ringing a little bit again. They take him out of the game. So keep an eye out for starting running back, starting cornerback. Not saying their best two players, although I think Kool-Aid probably is their best, but those are two players that Alabama absolutely needs to win this game. But let's go inside Michigan's game plan. Tell you what I'm feeling about. We've heard from practice over the last 10 days and what Michigan's going to prepare for coming up against Alabama for Monday afternoon's game. I will ask this question for you, though. I want to hear your take on Colston Loveland, because for me, he's the X factor. Will he have, against Alabama, 75 receiving yards? I'm putting the number at. Will he have more than that or less? Now, conventional wisdom says less because he really hasn't had breakout huge games like that outside of what Purdue, maybe one other one this year so far. Let me know in the comments. I put the number there in a second because that's kind of what I think he's going to get. I think he's going to get 6 catches, 75 yards. And so I put my money where my mouth is with Prize Picks, the sponsor of today's show. Go down and answer that question in the comments or in the live chat while I tell you about Prize Picks. This week on Prize Picks, I am making all my picks be Michigan, Alabama, Rose Bowl related. I'll show you theirs here in a second. Because Prize Picks is daily fantasy made easy. You just pick 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6 players. And all you do is choose more or less on the stats that Prize Picks puts in front of you. So when I checked it, I saw these stats on Alabama, on Michigan's top players. J.J. McCarthy, I don't know what he's going to do passing, but I know for a fact he's going to get more than 16.5 rushing yards, so I chose more. Jalen Milroe, I do think he's going to get more. Even though Michigan's going to spy him, he's going to get more than 32.5 rushing yards on Michigan's defense, because that might be all they have in their offense. How about Colston Loveland? I said 75 receiving yards, more or less. Prize Picks says it's 36.5. That was an easy more for me. Blake Corum was a not so easy, less of 71.5 rushing yards. And I think Michigan's secondary will not allow Alabama to have big plays downfield. So I'm going less for the top receiver, Jermaine Burton. Put $25 off $25 in my account after I cashed out some winnings. If I get that, win 10 times my money. See how easy this is? Just make more or less. On 5 players, I think I have a good insight into what they're going to do in this game. If I get all 5 right, $250. If I don't get all 5 right? Let's just say I only get 4 or even 3 right. I get twice my money back. So $25, I get 50 back if I get 4 right. I only get 3 out of the 5 right. So 3 and 2, I'm still getting $10 back, 0.4 of my $25. That's how easy it is with Prize Picks. I love it. Been playing it all season long. PrizePicks.com/CLNS. PrizePicks.com/CLNS. The link is in the comments. It's down in the description. It is in the live chat. You use promo code CLNS. You get up to a $100 deposit match. Up to a $100 deposit match. Get going. If you haven't done it yet with Prize Picks, use that code. Get your bonus money deposit match and put a Prize Picks on the table for the Michigan-Alabama Rose Bowl. Just like I showed you right there. I can win up to 10 times my money. PrizePicks.com/CLNS. The difference maker in this game, why I talked about him with my question to you guys, 75 yards over or more or less, is Colston Loveland, right? I think he's being counted on, from what I've heard in practice, to break out as a superstar against Alabama. This is the game where, college football, if it all works out well that Michigan's hoping for, college football takes notice and said, who the hell is that number 18, that sophomore that scored a touchdown against Ohio State, that number 18 tight end for Michigan that just absolutely tore apart the Alabama secondary? It was a mismatch against their safeties. It was a mismatch against their linebackers. And that's Colston Loveland. He is being a big part of what Michigan's going to do against Alabama. And I haven't put this question at the bottom of the screen you see there. The third bullet point, can Jim Harbaugh rekindle his Stanford and 49ers tight end magic, which I'll show you in a second. Now, Loveland's not absolutely tearing up this year. 572 yards, good numbers. 40 catches, good numbers for a tight end, but not All-American yet. Not first-team undisputed all-conference as such. It's a big game against Alabama, another one in the national title game. Could get up there about 54, 55 catches, 800 or so yards, a couple more touchdowns. We shall see. So that is the focus. Michigan understands that Terry Arnold, Kool-Aid McKinstry, tough to pass on, right? Where can they have an advantage? And where is Harbaugh maybe the tight end whisperer, or the whisperer of a position? They call him the quarterback whisperer. I think he is the tight end whisperer. Go to your computers right now. Don't stop watching this video. If you want to pause us, whatever you want to do, just go to YouTube. Type in Virginia Tech, Stanford. It was the January 1st, 2011. So 2011 Orange Bowl, end of the 2010 season. Watch what Jim Harbaugh did with a player who I think is less talented than Colson Loveland, Kobe Fleener. The downfield routes, the staying in the block, releasing downfield, touchdown, big play, touchdown, big play. Absolutely tore Virginia Tech's defense apart in the second half. 6 catches, 173 yards, and 3 touchdowns, a long of 58. Tight end whisperer, not crazy to think about because it just didn't happen in college, right? It's happened in college with Fleener, of course, and then obviously Jake Butts, Colson Loveland, others at Michigan. But it's happened in the pros, right? One of the best performances we've seen by a tight end in the postseason, at least in the time, a year later, right? The 2011 second-round NFC playoffs versus the New Orleans Saints. Remember this catch, right at the goal line, kind of called the catch 2 in San Francisco to beat the Saints in a 49ers home game to go on to the NFC Championship game, which they lost to the Giants. 7 catches, 180 yards, 2 touchdowns. You compare that with the Colin Kaepernick playbook that we showed you last week. Jim Harbaugh has shown quarterbacks and tight ends can make plays if they play, put the playbook and the game call planning into effect that will obviously allow them to have big plays. Now, another guy that we want to consider as an unsung hero is A.J. Barner, right? Alabama's not just going to let one player like Colson Loveland just go catches, 50-yard catches, 30-yard catches, 20-yard catches, nonstop. So when they cue in on him, put a second tight end in, right? Make him think you're run blocking for Diamond Edwards, Blake Corum. Have one guy release and go deep, other guy stay blocked, go out there, get A.J. Barner. We've only saw 1 or 2 games this year, Purdue game most notably, where these 2 guys were an absolute force down the field. J.J. McCarthy trusts him. He trusts him in the red zone. And I don't know if Jim Harbaugh really trusts J.J. McCarthy throwing as much in the red zone. If he does, I probably think it's going to be to one of those 2 players, if not Diamond Edwards, a.k.a. the Don. So Harbaugh, tight end whisperer, those 2 guys. If neither one of those guys has a big game, I still think Michigan's going to win, but I think they will. And from what I've been told, Michigan has been game planning to make sure you take advantage of your strength, tight end, running back out of the backfield, against Alabama's weakest point on their defense, which is probably right up the middle, right? Middle linebackers, both safety positions. We'll see if it plays out on Monday night. I'm headed to SoCal. So if you guys want to play along virtually with me, kind of follow the trip. I'll put pictures out. I'll put videos. If we hear anything, I'll put a little selfie video like I do with the halftime show on Twitter. If you have to do so, follow me. Join my 6.5 days in Southern California. It's at James Yoder on Twitter. Join along. Let me know what you guys are feeling. Maybe I'll follow back the next 4 or 5 people who follow me at James Yoder on Twitter. Let's look at the TV ratings for college football games over the last couple of days, and I started to think to myself, could this be the most watched college football game of all time? Think about the intrigue we've got going on here, right? You've got Alabama, Nick Saban, greatest coach of all time. Number 4, the Rose Bowl, the last real Rose Bowl of this kind of college football era. The last 14 playoff, Jim Harbaugh, right? I mean, who's a bigger name in football than Jim Harbaugh? Who draws more eyeballs than Jim Harbaugh? And maybe the 2 premier programs in the sport right now over the past 3-4 years. I know Georgia's won 2 national titles. I just don't think they have that cachet. It's like Ohio State, Michigan, Alabama, Notre Dame. These are the type of programs that can draw record-setting amount of eyes throughout college football. So I thought to myself, all those factors going into it, the game's on New Year's Day, not New Year's Eve, which has poor ratings typically. This could be potentially the greatest, the most watched game in the history of college football. Now, if you saw Michigan, Ohio State, that was the most watched game, regular season game. This past, a couple weeks ago, a month ago, that was the most watched game in college football in the regular season since Alabama LSU 1 versus 2 in 2011. So not crazy to think about. And a lot of the games that we're going to show you here coming up in a second as most college football watch games ever and most watch games in the college football playoff era, a lot of them have either Ohio State or even Alabama. Add Michigan to that foray to replace out Ohio State. You've got yourself a hell of a recipe. We're good to go, Jack? Show the people the games? All right, here's the most watched games ever in the history of college football as they've been doing modern TVs. Now, some people are saying, oh, wow, there was a game back in 1971, et cetera, et cetera. These are from, I think it's 1988 on when they've done like the modern TV ratings. So 35 years. USC, Texas, obviously no-brainer. 1 versus 2. There's so many stars. Reggie Bush, Matt Leinart, Vince Young, etc. Phenomenal game. Came out in the last couple plays, last drive. 36.6 million. Now, this one surprised me. First college football playoff game Ohio State versus a non-traditional power in Oregon, I think it was more of the, hey, this is new, this is fresh, we've never had this before, first college football playoff national title game. That's the second most watched game ever, 34.1 million. Now, Texas, Alabama, we talked about that game a little earlier on in the live show, 30.8, but you see the theme there, Alabama, right? Ohio State above them. So Texas, 2 of the top 3. USC Northwestern. This is surprising. Jack, you probably don't remember this. This Northwestern team was like the ultimate Cinderella story. Went from like 3 wins in 2094 to win the Big Ten in 1995, including beating Michigan. USC Northwestern in that Rose Bowl, I think it was Northwestern's first ever Rose Bowl, 30.4. But what's the factor there? The Rose Bowl, right? The Rose Bowl. USC Texas, the Rose Bowl. Texas Alabama could have been the Rose Bowl as well. I don't remember off the top of my head. Was the Rose Bowl? No, I can't remember. And then Alabama, Miami, way back in 1992. So all the factors again there. You have at least 2 Rose Bowls, USC Texas and USC Northwestern. Then you've got multiple Alabamas. Then you've got, Ohio State in there. It's there. The only one that doesn't really, jump in there. Actually, I guess they all kind of do in some regards play into this narrative. It's USC, Texas, Rose Bowl, Ohio State, right? Michigan's counterpart, Alabama, Rose Bowl, Alabama. It was a Rose Bowl. So 3 of these top 5 are Rose Bowls at Texas, Alabama, USC Northwestern, and USC Texas. And the other one, Alabama, Miami, has there. So that is the most watched ever game. I think this one's going to rival it. I think it's going to get up in this top 5. I'm not sure if it's going to get all the way to number 1. I'll show you the highest rated games in college football playoff era here in a moment. But I got to ask you this question. What are you feeling for Monday? Are you feeling all blues? Are you feeling traditional uniforms? Are you feeling all maize? Let me see with a 1, 2, or 3 in the comments. Let me know how you guys are feeling on this Michigan football-Alabama uniform matchup. Michigan's number 1 seed. They get to pick which uniforms they want. They could wear the all whites. They could wear white jerseys. They won't, but they could. I think they're going to end up going with the traditionals. I think they're going to have, I'd love to see them with the Rose Bowl patches, which they used to do in the 90s. They were absolutely beautiful, if you guys don't remember that. But I don't think they're going to do that, but I think they will wear the traditionals. So could this be a record-setting game? What if this gets up to the top 1, USC, Texas, Oregon, Ohio State? Now, if it's Michigan, Texas, that could be up there with that USC Texas game too, right? We'll see how that were to shake out. But could it be the most watched college football playoff semifinal game ever? We've got 5 in the prior 9 years. This is the 10th year of the 4-team CFP. Number 1, actually, again, Ohio State, Alabama, right? Does that not remind you kind of what we've got going on here? Now, this was the primetime game in that first January 1st, 2015, the 2014 season. But kind of went back there. I think it was anomaly, that 2014 season, because it was the first time it ever happened, right? So you get more people. That Oregon, Florida State audience kind of bled right into the Alabama primetime game. Oregon, Florida State, Rose Bowl, number 1 game, Ohio State, Alabama, right? So you kind of see the theme here. Then you got Georgia, Oklahoma. Where was that game played at, Jack? That was the Rose Bowl. You remember that one? Georgia, Oklahoma, Baker Mayfield came, there's 52, 51, whatever it was, 55, 52, absolutely epic game. Georgia went on, almost beat Alabama, lost to Alabama in the title game. Georgia, Ohio State. So you got SEC power, Ohio State, Big Ten power. And last year, Michigan, TCU, right? I'm surprised that one was even on there. All these factors have in. They've either got Rose Bowl, they've either got Alabama, they've either got Ohio State or Michigan. Just so many factors, if then you add all up. So if I were to say, how would I deliver the biggest audience in the history of the college football playoff semifinal in the last year, I'd say, give me Jim Harbaugh. After he got suspended 6 out of Michigan's 13 games so far. Give me Nick Saban. Maybe a point or 2 underdog to Jim Harbaugh. Let's make it at the Rose Bowl, baby, where it seems all the big games, because your grandma wants to watch the Rose Bowl because she watched it as a kid, and make it at 2 o'clock Pacific time, 5 o'clock Eastern on New Year's Day. Michigan, number 1 team in the country. I think you've got Jim Harbaugh, Nick Saban, every recipe. If Michigan does not get in that top 1 or 2 in Alabama for this game, I will be disappointed in you, the college football viewing audience. All 28.31 million of you that would Michigan need in Alabama to get that record in this game. Let me know where you guys are watching the game from. I'll be heading out to the game. Going to go with wife and go with my 7-year-old son. He's been part of this. He just became obsessed with Donovan Edwards over the last year after the Ohio State game. And so we got it for him for a Christmas present. Where are you watching? You're going to be on the couch. You're going to be over on the couch at home, right? You're hosting. You go into a friend's house. You go into the bar, or you're going to the game. Give me a C, an F, a B, or give me an R if you're going to the game. Let's chant it all together right now. Chant it with me wherever you are right now. I don't care if you're around people, you're listening to your AirPods, you're at home by yourself. Stand up if you're sitting. Just chant it with me. Let's go blue. Let's go blue. Let's go blue. Let's go blue. I can't wait. Michigan, Alabama, Monday, 5 o'clock Eastern. Michigan's going to get the win on to the national title game. Let's go blue. Make sure you guys use hashtag Michigan. We're going to do another segment of your questions here in a moment. Audience is dwindling down a little bit, Jack. Only got 125 people watching, 137 likes. That's okay. We have been live now for 1 hour and 55 minutes. Let me take a look, see if anybody was watching on tape delay and Venmo after hours or anything like that. I see you, Eric Martin, sending me your address, etc. I appreciate that. Let's take a look. Make sure we didn't miss anybody with the Venmo game. Matthew, nope. Okay, so anyone who sent me their address, I will get the card out to you. Anyone who hasn't sent me their address, I'll reply to you later tonight or tomorrow. We're going to take your questions. Use hashtag Michigan or Super Chat to get your questions on today's show. Now, we got to do this here. I'm going to take a look at what the chat rate record was. Oh, Jack, you a little too quick, Jack. A little too quick, Jack. A little too quick, Jack. Okay, so not that great so far, but that's right where we were last week around this time. So we ask this probably every couple live shows, but we got to do it today. It's the last live show of 2023. Let's break the chat rate for today's show. So the highest chat rate, we've had a pretty good stream of chats, but was about, what do we say, about 15 minutes ago or so, 36 chats per second, so 36 in 60 seconds. So here's what I guys want you to do. Gear up. You can do, if you watch the live chat, you can just do this what I'm doing. Just type a bunch of numbers if you want. They'll rate limit you afterwards, or just type in Bosa, right? Oops, yeah, not that. Bosa. You can type in Baffa, beat Alabama football again. You can type in M, whatever you want. Let's beat the chat record, the chat rate record that we've had today, which was 36 in a minute, about 15 minutes ago. All right, we ready? I hold those horses for a second. Everybody, get your fingers ready. Get your fingers ready. Get your typing hands ready. Jack, you ready? All right, Mark, get set. Run that clock. I'll give shots here on the Michigan Football Report. We're at 57 seconds. Got to get to 36 chats per minute to do this last segment and send us on to the next phase of this season. Me heading out to the Rose Bowl. Jack, you're watching on TV, of course, right? You got a big party at your house. What are you going to do? I see you, Ashley Lawson. Strike 3. CR. Dylan Blasco, J.W. Fackler. Sounds like a great law firm or something. Come to the firm of J.W. Fackler. Maybe it is, but great name. Kyle Blanchard. Keep them rolling. Just spam it. I see a Bosa from Ace of Spades. Dylan. I see Ashley Lawson with a Go Blue. I see all of you. CR, Kyle Blanchard, Ashley again. Ooh, we're pretty close, guys. We got 20 seconds left. I see it spiked right to 36. We need about 5 more chats in the next 20 seconds. I see a Baffa. I see a Beat Bama. Ashley Lawson, Kyle Blanchard, Dylan Blasco, CR. 7 seconds. 6. McCarthy. Rolls left. Rolls right. Looks right. Sees Colson Loveland. Fires. He got it. Michigan wins. Touchdown. Michigan. Colson Loveland. The Wolverines going to the national championship game. Let's see. Going to be delayed about 10 seconds or so. So we'll see. It's going to be close. Didn't blow up, but that's fine. We're going to see. We are going to see. Woo, whoop, 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 whoop. Oh, yeah, we beat it. Okay. 100, last number came in, just updated 113, Jack, so tripled it. Look at you guys. Appreciate that. Ashley, Ace of Spades, everyone who is watching. Let me get a sip. I've had this beer for the last 2 hours. Woo! Destroyed it. Thank you guys so much. You never fail to come through here in the Michigan Football Report. Strike 3, Ashley Lawson and others helped Jack get to Houston. So now Michigan's got to do their part, beat Alabama. Are we going to Houston anyways? I haven't decided yet. I don't know. If Michigan were to lose, if someone catastrophic the refs, will we go to Houston? I don't know. Maybe. Yeah. We did it last year, but that's a little further because we had plane tickets and hotels and everything wrong. This one's a drivable effort. So easy drive, 3 hours there. Michigan football and the game's down in Houston. All right, Jack, toss that up on the screen. Join the Hard Hat Club if you guys have yet to do so. Brad, we got you on there. We got Strike 3. We got Matt Shook, Rick Harford, Ashley Lawson, Bruce Guthrie, Stuart Yeager, Jacksonville. So how about this guy last week, Jack? King Dingaling, John Blaze, Gregory Martin. Read a couple of the other helmets from past weeks. You got a John Blaze helmet from that one. He came in with like $600. It's basically all John Blaze. Our guy Steve Reichard, Big D Retro, came out of nowhere with like $200 in one show. I haven't heard from him recently. That was the John Blaze and the Big D show. Steve was all over a couple shows ago, back on December 3rd. John Blaze, House of Lion, Some Guy, My Guy, Roscoe Truman, Cruiser for Show, Outdoor Montana, Tattoo Hick, Ted D, Michael Cowley, Big D again. All right, so we got a lot of the same big swingers, a Big D and others. Travis Mitchell. Let's see. Ashley Lawson last week. Rick, I think I mentioned a couple of those folks. So appreciate everyone who has super chatted, who has joined the Hard Hat Club, the most exclusive Michigan football fan club. You're on the end screen of the number one show on any platform, the Michigan Football Report by Chat Sports. Josephine, I love Hard Hats. It's a workman show, right? Okay, we love our hard hats. We're a workman show. Just like Michigan's got the stickers and the helmets, we have got the hard hats. Maybe I should just wear it for this next segment, Jack. What do you think? Maybe I should just wear it. I'll put it on for a second. Put this bad boy on. There's that one. I didn't put the what's it called in it yet on this one. Yeah, it's like a harness that slash your heads. This one's just on there. Maybe I should do the next show like this, Jack. What do you think? Can I do it? Probably tough, huh? Might break the headset, so we won't. But I love my hard hats. All right, let's take your questions here on the show. Kyle Blanchard, Isaiah Thomas in the chat. Oh, there you go. Shout out to him. Bad boys for life. Or it's the Celtics, Isaiah Thomas. Schmuck. We'll see. Let's get your questions answered on the show. This is going to be our last segment of, in the studio at least, of 2023. If there's anything relevant, Jim Harbaugh related, injury related on either team, any insight into the playbook or anything like that, we'll do a show from the hotel room. Just kind of me and a pair of headsets like that. But from the studio, this will be the last one as I'm flying out tomorrow morning to San Diego. I'm going to take my son to Legoland, San Diego, which of course in German means. And we're going to fly. We're going to do Legoland, chilling on Thursday, Legoland on Friday, zoo on Saturday, driving to Santa Monica, and I'm going to do the tourist thing on Sunday, game on Monday, and then TBD on Tuesday, early flight back to Dallas on Wednesday. Will be a glorious flight because I'll just be doing hails all across. It's a celebrate, yeah. It might just be crazy right now. I can't get that crazy because of who I'm going with, but trust me, I'll be celebrating, Jack. Don't you worry. Might have to stream me up on live. Might have to go live from like a Santa Monica bar or something like that as we are celebrating. Let's keep it rolling though, Jack. You ready? We're gonna do one more of these mailbags to end 2023, the greatest year in the history of the Michigan football program, history of this show as well. Let's get it rolling. All right, guys. Last time I'm going to ask this year. We'll do one more next week for the national title game, but this has worked like 33 out of 34 times we've asked. Got to keep it rolling now. If you'd like to beat Alabama, you got to like this video. Don't jinx it. You're watching this. If you don't like the video just because you want to be smug, you want to kind of be a smart aleck or anything like that, if Michigan loses to Alabama, it is your fault. You'll be thinking about there, I jinxed it. Just like wearing your socks, right? You got your lucky socks, you got your lucky shirt. It's your lucky like the video. Put out the good vibes. Put out the good vibes. Michigan beat Alabama. Let's get a like in this video. Let's get like 1,200, 1,500 likes. So like the video because if you don't, Michigan loses. I'm coming for you. Banning you from cheering from life. And Jack and I are going to, instead of going to the national title game, we're going to show up at your house and you are going to be in trouble. And you're not going to be in trouble if you use Manscaped this holiday season. I love the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra. Manscaped's got a bunch of new awesome products and you can get 20% off and free shipping by going to manscaped.com. Use the promo code GOBLUE. We got the link down in the comments in the description of the video. And if you're watching live, we got it coming up in the live chat. I love Manscaped. They own the bathroom for guys. And you're going to absolutely love their product. First question coming in. Got a little mailbag flair. We're going to talk some crazy on this show. We got mailbag. We got some analysis. This is going to be a fun last segment of the year. Yoder's daddy, which I think it's a picture of Urban Meyer, right? I don't know if that is my daddy. Although my mom, I don't know. Maybe Urban is my daddy. You never know. I'm much better looking than my dad, Jack. So maybe Urban is my dad. Explain to me how Harbaugh struggles in the college football playoffs, but not the NFL playoffs. Jack, we've got a graph from a couple weeks ago. Look, you're right ahead of me. Toss this up. because this isn't all of his playoff wins. Harbaugh's got a couple of playoff wins, but these are the ones that I just find so intriguing as a football fan. It's because they are over either Hall of Fame quarterbacks like Drew Brees or Aaron Rodgers twice, or NFL MVP quarterbacks like Matt Ryan, who could have won a Super Bowl himself, or Cam Newton, who was the MVP and made it to a Super Bowl himself, lost to Peyton Manning. Jim Harbaugh has got his team, a team he took over that was just as bad as Michigan was when he took over, right? Michigan was 5-7, right? Yeah, 5-7 the year before Jim Harbaugh got the job. The 49ers were 5-11, and they hadn't won anything in like 8 years, just like Michigan with Ray Richrod and Brady Hoke. And it's so crazy to me how much better Michigan's 49ers teams with Harbaugh played in the playoffs than Jim Harbaugh's teams have played in the college football playoff. It's crazy. Michigan's postseason struggles are concerning. I don't know, and people are going to say if they lose this game to Alabama, fans of Michigan, Ohio State, Alabama, other fan bases, they're just going to say, national media pundits, Harbaugh has done a disservice to Michigan, has done a disservice to the fans, has done a disservice to the program by focusing on the NFL, letting that come up, being on the players' minds, taking focus away from beating Alabama, away from beating TCU, away from beating Georgia, and that's why Michigan can't get it done. But I just think he's got it in him. He's never won the big one, right? He made it to the Super Bowl. He made it to 3 NFC Championship games, lost to his brother in the Super Bowl. This is going to be the year to get it done. Third time's a charm in the college football playoff, beat Alabama. Just talk about a storybook ending to what is kind of, frankly, one of the craziest seasons I've ever seen from any program at any level of sports, this 2023 Michigan football team. Let me know what you guys think about next season. Will Jim Harbaugh be Michigan's coach next season, 2024? Give me a yes or a no. I'm not going to avoid this topic. I know some people have seen the comments like, quit talking about that. I'm not the one who's got an agent talking to NFL teams. That's Jim Harbaugh. I'm not the one who was interviewed for NFL jobs the last couple of years. That's Jim Harbaugh, the Vikings, the Broncos. I'm not the one who's reached out to owners like the Panthers owners last year. That's Jim Harbaugh. Appreciate what he's doing for this program. I hope he stays. But this NFL saga is his doing. And it's not fans doing. It's not the program's doing. It's certainly not the NFL's doing, because he could just say, no, I'm not interested. So it is a story. Let me know what you guys think. 2024, will Jim Harbaugh be Michigan's coach? Just give me a simple yes or a no. Caden Prowse coming in for the question. He says, any update on Jim Harbaugh's contract? Will he be here or the NFL next season? My sources have gone radio silence on this, right? I had a really, really, really good conversation and source who spent time with Jim Harbaugh's inner circle to like 3 a.m. in the hotel lobby, the Michigan hotel lobby bar, after the Michigan-Iowa game in Indianapolis. And if you guys watch the show, you know what that's about. It was, hey, Christmas, he's not going to go to California and be talking to Michigan, be talking to Santa Ona, be talking to Ward Manuel about contract. He wants to win this game. He's putting that behind him. He also knows if it hasn't happened, that Michigan didn't give him an offer he couldn't refuse. Now, I've changed my stance a little bit. I think with this leak from Ian Rappaport over the weekend, Christmas Eve, that Harbaugh may end up staying with Michigan. He may come back next year, but I don't think he wanted to sign a contract that says you can't look at the NFL, because he might get a job that just he couldn't refuse, and he'd feel terrible if he just signed a contract with Michigan, right? That job could be the Dallas Cowboys. Let's say they lose this week to the Lions, and they lose next week to the Commanders, or if they win that game but make the NFL playoffs, lose to the Buccaneers or something like that. You can see that job coming over. Maybe it's the Pittsburgh Steelers, right? Maybe Mike Tomlin's ready to walk away. Maybe it's the Chicago Bears, the first pick of the draft, although that job doesn't seem that attractive to me, and they've been winning a little bit lately. Maybe it's the Raiders, right? He met his wife in Vegas. Maybe she wants to go back to where she spent, the early part of her post-college days when they met about 15, 16 years ago. We will see. But nothing updated, right? That date came and went, and so I don't think anything's going to happen. Jim Harbaugh is not going to sign a contract to extension with Michigan until at least 2 weeks after the season's over, if it even happens. If it comes back after he's fully explored what options are out there for the NFL. Black Monday, the day all the NFL coaches get fired, the day after the regular season, does happen the day of the college football national championship game. So that game, when Michigan beats Alabama, could just be the Harbaugh NFL speculation for the entire day until kickoff in Houston. Make sure you guys are going to Houston. You're having a little trip for that game, or if you are heading to the Rose Bowl, hell, if you're just having yourself a nice date on New Year's Eve, that you are ringing in the new year with Manscaped. I love Manscaped. It is the best male grooming products in the game. As the new year approaches, why not make self-improvement a breeze by keeping your body well groomed? Introducing Manscaped's Performance Package 5.0 Ultra. It's the ultimate all-inclusive kit designed to help you feel clean cut and confident as you should. Manscaped's Performance Package 5.0 Ultra features the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra. And stay on this one really quick, Jack. You see those products right there? You got that bag right there. That's called the Shed 2.0 toiletry bag. And then you've got the Manscaped Boxers, the Boxers 2.0. They're throwing those in as gifts when you buy the Performance Package 5.0 Ultra. It's an amazing package, right? All these products sell separately for like $258. You get them together, $139.99 plus 20% off when you use promo code GOBLUE. You just go to manscaped.com. When you get to checkout, type in promo code GOBLUE on the right side and ask you if you have a promo code. Get going, Manscaped. I've got their deodorant. I've got the shampoo, the conditioner. I've got Manscaped, what do you call these little nail clippers? I've got Manscaped lip balm. I love it. You'll love it as well. You see this? You see this beard? You see this? You think it's a mistake? All Manscaped beard hedger as well. Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra is their premier product. I love it. Go to manscaped.com. Use promo code GOBLUE. Manscaped's got your grooming resolutions covered. Go to manscaped.com right now. Use promo code GOBLUE, 20% off and free shipping. Let's keep talking about Michigan, Alabama. And I want to give you guys my take on how to beat this version of Nick Saban. How Michigan can get the win coming up on Monday against this team. And I got to go back about a decade or so, about 9 years, when Alabama was the number one team in the country, facing an upstart team from down south. Not talking about down south in the SEC, I'm talking about down south from Michigan. Take a look at this game. If you recall, Ohio State beat Wisconsin 59-0 with their third-string quarterback in the Big Ten championship game to jump from number 6 to number 4 over Baylor and TCU to sneak into that playoff, right? Zeke Elliott, 230-some yards, 230 yards, 2 touchdowns, 20 carries, and that 85-yard run, just like Donovan Edwards, that they at the time said, right through the heart of the South. I've called Donovan Edwards right through the heart of that team down south. This is the Alabama team that reminds me most of this 2023 one, right? A mobile quarterback that doesn't throw the ball great. Now, this Alabama team had Derrick Henry, who was the Heisman Trophy winner, so the better team in that regard. Really, really great defense. Our Alabama guy here at Chat Sports says this Alabama defense he thinks is the best one since that 2014 team, since that 2015 team, the year later that won the national title a year after that. Ohio State didn't throw the ball like crazy, right? Cardale Jones would say there, Jackie, like 220 yards himself as the quarterback. But what they did, they were able to own the ball on the ground and limit Alabama to not really having any big plays. And it came down to it, Alabama had to throw a Hail Mary at the end of the game that Ohio State knocked down. That's the kind of mindset. And I've told Michigan knows that, and they watched that game plan. Even though it's 9 years ago at this point, Cody Montfrey, I see you, baby. I'll get you with that super chat in just one moment. So let's take a look at Saban's CFP college football playoff era losses, right? The losses he's had, regular season and postseason, and these are the rushing yards that teams have had. And so the thing that was interesting about this is it's not very consistent, right? You had Ohio State have the most in any Saban era, CFP era loss with 281, but then it goes there, Ole Miss, right? They beat them with passing in 2015. 2016, Clemson, they won the national title against them. They only got 91 yards on the ground. Okay, cool. Auburn, 168. Clemson, 2 years later, national title, 135. Trevor Lawrence, I was at that game. Absolutely spectacular through the air. So Alabama can get beat on the ground. They also can get beat in the air. 2019, Auburn, 181 yards on the ground. How about LSU, right? 2019 LSU with the Heisman Trophy winner, maybe the best team in college football history. They put up 166, right? That was a passing-led team, but they had a first-rounder in Clyde Edwards-Hilaire. 2020, they went undefeated. 2021, you got a loss to Texas A&M. Only 94 yards for Texas A&M. 2021 also, Georgia, national title game, the Bulldogs put 140 on them. Last year, Tennessee, 182. That was a passing air raid Tennessee team, but they got 182 on the ground. Then LSU last year with the Heisman Trophy winner from this year, he was the quarterback then, Jaden Daniels. They put 185. But how about Texas? I think Texas offense, in a lot of ways, outside of Xavier Worthy, we all know why he's not at Michigan. They resemble a lot of Michigan, right? J.J. McCarthy, Quinn Ewers, not much difference. Similar running attacks, similar styles, similar offensive line talent. And they were able to pass the ball very effectively, didn't have to get things going on the ground. This team has not blown people out, right? They got the big win early in the year. What's that, Middle Tennessee State, right? Yeah. In 56-7 in a home game. And then a week later, they lost to Texas, right? It was a 10-point loss, and Texas ran the clock down. Just like Ohio State. Michigan did against Ohio State. Week later, they benched Milroe. They won against South Florida 17-3 with Tyler Buchner as the quarterback. You got a big win a week after that, 24-10 against an Ole Miss team that's still ranked in the top 15. Mississippi State, 40-17. Right? That's one of, I think, 2 wins against Power 5 teams right there. Those 2 right there might be the only ones, actually, that Alabama won by double digits right there. You got 24-10, 14 points, and then 40-17 in back-to-back weeks. But then he squeaked one out against Texas A&M, 26-20. Keep it rolling, Jack, through the rest of this Tide schedule. 24-21 against Arkansas, right? And they were up by 10 late in the game. Arkansas put one in the end zone and got the Alabama got the onside kick. 34-20. So maybe incorrect. There's a third game right there. 34-20 over Tennessee. 42-28 over LSU. So my stats, Jack, I must have been way off. I thought it was only 2 games. But nevertheless, 42-28 over LSU. Kentucky, 49-21. And then they got the big win over Chattanooga. But remember, they needed a Hail Mary against a terrible Auburn team that lost the prior week to Middle Tennessee State 27-24, or we wouldn't even be having this conversation. And a 3-point win in an absolutely marvelous drive to very a lot of Michigans against Ohio State to keep the ball at the end of the game to beat Georgia. They made every play on 2nd and long and 3rd and long and 3rd and short to keep the ball down the stretch and not let Georgia get the ball with 5-6 minutes left or anything like that to put on a drive to potentially win the game and for them go for a 3rd straight national title. So the team is beatable. They've been beaten running the ball, Ohio State. They've been beaten passing the ball, LSU, others, but only 1 or 2 times have you gone under 100 yards and beat Alabama. So I think that's got to be the minimum. But look at the stats this year. Jaden Daniels ran all over him, passed all over him. Quinn Ewers passed all over him. Auburn's quarterback ran all over him. It can be done. Don't let the naysayers out there or the Alabama apologists say that this Alabama defense is too good or Nick Saban's too good of a coach for Michigan with everything they've got. J.J. McCarthy, Blake Corum, you guys know. Donovan Edwards, Michigan can and I think will win this game. How about a question coming in from Alcoholic? Funny enough, I saw a picture that's Mo from The Simpsons. So, Al, you watch Simpsons, Jack? You ever have that thing where Bart calls up the bar? He's like, I like calling for Al. It's like, Al, who's his last name? Alcoholic. Yeah, so I get the play there. Why hasn't Harbaugh debunked the NFL rumors? Good question. I think he wants to see where, the NFL is going to be, right? Jim Harbaugh has got the contract that I believe is what he expects. The Field of Love, Santa Ono, the Border Regents, Jordan Acker, this other woman, Sarah, who's active on Twitter, who's on the Border Regents. Santa Ono, maybe Ward Manuel hasn't been as active as it should have, but this should have happened last January or February, right after the second dalliance with the NFL, the Broncos, the Panthers, others, and it didn't. Because, the NCAA Burgergate came into effect last year right after the season happened, so we're going to push that off. It should have happened before the season started. It didn't. We were in the same spot 3 years ago. I said, Michigan can't go into the 2020 season without a contract extension for Jim Harbaugh, right? 2 years on his contract then. Because then it was a 2-4 season. It was terrible. And then you go into a contract, you go into a lame duck year the year after that. And Michigan looked like fools, right? They had to give Jim Harbaugh a 50% pay cut because they didn't want to fire him in the COVID season, etc. And now I think they're kind of looking like fools. This should have happened prior to the year. What he's done the last 2 years, beat Ohio State, 2 college football playoffs. The fact that it went past August 1st, I think is shameful. Now, the reason Harbaugh is letting this fester is because I think 2 things are at play here. One, I think Harbaugh's kind of oblivious, right? He's seen it happen the last 2 years. Didn't have really any meaningful effect. Michigan still made the playoffs, still, didn't really lose anybody, and, transfer or anything like that. And then the second part of that is this might be the year that the job he wants, that wants him, comes available, and he doesn't want to miss out on that. So it doesn't mean he's going to leave Michigan, but certainly I think it means that he's going to listen to NFL offers. And we're going to be sitting here in 3 weeks, whether Michigan's the national championships or not, hearing all the rumors about Jim Harbaugh talking to this team, talking to that team, talking to another team, and whether or not Sherman Moore or somebody else eventually becomes Michigan's next football coach. Guys, last time I'll ask of 2023, subscribe to the Michigan Football Report. Let's take a look how many subscribers we got here on the channel. I'll give you the exact number so you can know where you stand if you haven't yet. We're at 30,214 subscribers. Hit that button right below the video. If you like what you see, if you've enjoyed the show this year, it's been our best year yet, send the link, youtube.com/Michigan TV, to your friends who love the Wolverines as much as you. Robert D. Felice says, talk to me about Michigan's NIL efforts right now. I think they kind of stink in a lot of ways. And the thing that's really concerned me so far this last month is I haven't heard anything about this one more year fund. All right. Now, last year it kept Trevor Keegan, Zach Zinter, maybe Blake Corum in some regards. Came back for a year, like multi-$100,000 deals, etc. There's something to be said for, do you guys remember the article? I think it was the week of the Maryland game, maybe the day before the Maryland game, a Sports Illustrated article, outing Counter Stallions, fun guy. Remember, it was Uncle T. Do you remember this, Jack? Somebody asked me because James T. Yoder, if I was Uncle T. Maybe I am, maybe I'm not. But from what I've heard, Uncle T is actually not a joke or anything like that. That's an actual guy who contributed majority of the money to the one more year fund last year. So he's been ostracized by Michigan fairly or unfairly. And as such, I think it's going to hurt. And you might get guys like Rod Moore, Makari Page, Diamond Edwards, others who were expecting that $150,000 one more year deal, it not be there, at least to those levels. And, Michigan kowtowing to media pressure, got rid of Uncle T in their NIL efforts. And as a fact, it doesn't really help. So I haven't heard much positive, honestly, in the last few weeks, but we'll see if anything changes after Michigan wins the national championship. Cody Mumford, my man, my guy. As soon as we're done with this little portion, Cody, I got another helmet sticker coming for you. Two of them coming, but I put one on during here, the show. Unpopular opinion, I think no matter how the season ends, I don't think Harbaugh comes back. With everything that happens this season, and he heads the with everything that happens this season, he heads the Chargers. I'm comfortable with more if he does. Thoughts? I think you're not off, but I do think that Jim Harbaugh is not just going to jump at a job that he doesn't think he's positioned to win, because he doesn't want to jump from Michigan, going to the college football playoff, win a national title, et cetera, anything like that, beating Ohio State, to going 6-11 next year, and 8-9 the year after that, and then fired midway through your third year, because that's kind of par for the course with a lot of coaches these days. No matter if you're Jim Harbaugh or if you're somebody else. I mean, hell, even Bill Belichick's kind of on the hot seat, whether or not they're just growing old of each other, as such. But Harbaugh might just be getting sick of the ticky-tack stuff from the NCAA. He might think he's at a competitive disadvantage because of NIL or anything like that, although he's proven that it's been 3 years of the NIL that he is not at a disadvantage, at least not in the field. Michigan's ranked number 1 in the country. I think the Chargers would be a dumb job for him to take, right? The second fiddle job in LA. They've got the quarterback, but they've got a weak ownership, and I don't think a ton of draft capital. I'll have to check that a little bit closer. The one that would maybe, there's two jobs out there that I think oh man, he would love, whether they have the players or not, would be the Cowboys. If they falter down the stretch here, lose bad in the playoffs, first rounds. How about the Steelers? I don't know if that's really going to happen, but it could just be after 15, 16 years that Mike Tomlin's ready to hang him up just like Bill Cowher did before him. Those are two Michigan-level NFL jobs. Patriots might come open, but I don't think he wants to be the guy who follows the guy. But I would say if a job comes up like that Jim Harbaugh thinks he's got the right infrastructure, draft picks, management, quarterback, either here or in the draft, I think then, yeah, he will head out there. But he's not just going to take a job like the Falcons or something like that with none of those factors in play. Jack S. coming in with the question says, what's the health of the team? Anyone significantly injured? No. As far as I can tell from talking to, hey, give me the vibe of practice reps, give me the vibe of this, etc. Have not heard of any injuries. Even Miles Hidden is a 6th offensive lineman, has practiced, has been there over the last few weeks. J.J. McCarthy is close to healthy as he's been since maybe mid-October or so. So I haven't heard of any injuries. Knock on wood, Jack. Knock on wood. Knock on wood. Knock on wood if you're watching. So as of now, no one's significantly injured. Alabama may have more injury concerns, although both those guys, were back from December. Jason McClellan missed the SEC title game. Kool-Aid McKinstry, concussion. Maybe they'll be affected, but most likely this would be a completely healthy team on both sides of the ball. Michigan, Alabama, outside of Zach Zinter, of course, broke his leg against Ohio State. All right, Jack, toss the one up there. I want to know what you guys are feeling. Cody, I see you with that $5 super chat. Who do you got here? Texas or Washington? Give me a T or a W. You can toss Cody's question in there too to wrap up the show. We'll do that. Who do you got here? Who do you think is going to win? I think Washington's going to win. I'm just going to say I think Washington's going to win. So I'm going to type W. Let me know what you guys think. W or T. Who will Michigan be facing in the national title game 1 week from Monday? Cody Mountford with another super chat. He says, I've always been a fan, but when Henny hit Manningham to upset Penn State in 2005, I became a fanatic. Quick story on that one, Jack. Was working a job where we had to do like monthly inventory or something like that, like once a month or once a quarter on Saturday nights. And happened to be starting at like 8 o'clock on that day. And so I was a 90-minute drive or 80-minute drive from the stadium to where I had to be. And so I had to leave the game with my dad in the middle of the fourth quarter with Michigan down by like 6-7 points. Made it all the way to like the parking lot of my job. Last play of the game, Henney to Manningham to beat undefeated Penn State. Last play of the game, 1 second left. 2005, hell of a game because that was Penn State's only loss that year. I'm feeling you there, Cody Mountford. That was 2005 was such a weird season, but that was certainly one of the highlights. Reminder, guys, if you'd like to beat Alabama, good vibes, good vibes, good vibes. Last thing I ask on a studio show this year, if you'd like to beat Alabama, put out the good vibes. Don't jinx it. I got a list of viewers. I got a list of people who liked it. You better match up here if you're a Michigan football fan, or I'm coming for you if they lose to Alabama, but they won't because we're putting out the good vibes. Like this video, you want Michigan to beat Alabama. Hell, if you would like Michigan to beat Alabama, give me a like. It's the Michigan Football Report by Chat Sports. For Jack Latteray, a.k.a. Young Harbaugh, I am James Yoder. Go Blue. Speaking of Go Blue, by the way, that will go up on the channel on Sunday on New Year's Eve. All together now, type Go Blue. I see Lord Buddy Bear in the chat. Lord Buddy Bear, my guy, Buddy Bear. How you doing, my man? Good to see you here in the Michigan Football Report. A-Train with a W. Strike 3, he's going Washington. Strike 3 is going Washington. A-Train's going Washington. Michael says Go Blue. A-Train says Go Blue. What do we think, Jack? We have been live for 2 hours and 25 minutes. I see you, Daquan Walker, with a Go Blue. Really appreciate everyone who has been watching throughout today's show. What do we think, Jack? Should we keep the show going, or what are we doing here? Do we wait? Oh, Manscaped. So we saw what's his name, right? Thing. Yeah, we saw. Oh man, super chat menu. All right, Lord Buddy Bear. If you want to be the last super chatter of 2023, there's an opportunity. Last super chatter of 2023. So anything between 20 and 50 is going to Jack. Send Jack to Houston Fund. We hit the deal. Last show of the year, we hit it. Strike 3, Ashley Lawson put us over the top, Jack. That was awesome. And $5, you get on the show live. $10, Buddy Bear, you will be on the helmet again. You already are, and the end screen. So certainly appreciate that. And then the MVP, which right now is Strike 3. So if anyone wants to come in, I want Strike 3 to get it because he's been very supportive of the show. But if anyone comes in with a $201 super chat, they will get this Manscaped Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra. Let's see, Jack. If we get a $5 super chat, I see you, DS, with the Bosas. I see you, Mark Majkowski. Mark's saying, when did OSU #1 FBI all of a sudden weaken the I don't know. I thought the FBI has been brutal all year. It's at Ohio State, like #1 all year. It's been brutal. But I think Ohio State's going to lose to Missouri. I think their fan base is going to be in absolute shambles coming up on Friday night. Devin Brown, I think, is going to be the answer. Well, he couldn't get the starting job. I don't think he's going to all of a sudden become the answer. Kind of reminds me of John O'Korn. Michigan fans will remember John O'Korn from about 6 years ago. So I think that's going to be brutal. Mark, I saw you on I happened to pull up YouTube the other day, and the feed those give you other content that you might like. I saw Mark. They were asking your question like another show. Funny enough, so you are all over the YouTube streets, Mark. Appreciate that. There's a $10 super chat from A-Train 132 in the house. He's keeping it simple, Jack. The last super chat of the year, maybe. He's keeping it simple, and I think that's more vibes out there. Just giving me an M for Michigan. Michigan going to win this bad boy. A-Train, I got you, baby. I got you with another helmet sticker. 132 here on December 27th, 2023. Michigan. Let's kind of think about some things here, Jack. A lot of good things going Michigan's way. The first Jordan school for football. What number did Jordan wear? 23. That's right. What was Jordan's other number that he wore for half a season? Do you remember, Jack? You might have been too young. Jordan came back in the 1995 season, last 17 games of the year. Then the playoffs, they lost to the Magic. Came back wearing number 45. All right, for a little bit. You know what the point of the over/under in this game is, Jack? It's 45. Interesting. There's Coco Bear with a 10. I looked at that. I'm blind. Choco Bear, my guy. $10 super chat. He says, put me on the hard hat with my dad. I got you. So that is Buddy Bear's animal? Cat? Okay, there you go. Choco, you were on there. You are on there. That's amazing. I would love to have I would love to super chat from my cat. That'd be amazing. Buddy Bear, Choco Bear, appreciate you. 1227. You are on there. It's like a bear fest, right? Buddy, Choco, Lord. Where's the helmet at? There you go. I'll have to find yours, buddy. I don't know if it's close by, so I was gonna put you guys next to each other if possible, but I'm going to put you right there, Chaco. Boom. Buddy Bear, I think, is on like several Hall of Fames, like 5, 6 here at the show. Strike 3, the $20 super chat. Go blue. What are you saying, Jack? Well, he should be. So update the leaderboard, Jack. Ashley and strike 3. So the last super chat of the year could be Ashley. Strike 3. I've got another sticker coming for you, right, my man? We got like 19 more. We owe you. Here coming up in a second, we'll show the leaderboard. There's strike 3. Another one for you. This whole helmet's going to be mixed up with some strike 3s after this show. Cody coming in there. Cody, I will tell you, Ashley says, eat good in Cali. Jack's not going to Cali. Jack is going to be in Houston, though, for sure. But, we won't make him have ramen. I'll take Jack. We're going to go to a nice steak dinner at Houston's finest steakhouse. Let me get Ashley Lawson another helmet sticker. We owe her 4 more, but make sure I get this one. 5 more and 4 after this one. Ashley Lawson, 12/27. Any other Michigan fans from Ohio on here, says Cody Momfer. You're looking at one, Cody. I grew up in Ohio. Grew up about 25 miles south of Cleveland, crazy enough. I'm forgetting where all my stuff is. And, family from Michigan, and that's kind of where the Michigan side of things came. And, still have them up there. So got a place with my Aunt Michelle and all that stuff. Whenever I go to a game, I can stay at her place if needed. A-Train 132, Ashley Lawson. We got you covered. Cody, Mom, for any Michigan fans from Ohio. And listen, when I was growing up in the 90s, early 2000s in Ohio, to like 2005, 2006 timeframe, it was fun to be an Ohio State fan or Michigan fan in Ohio. Now, it kind of changed in 2004, 2005, and luckily I got out of there and moved. But that was super fun because I would be able to go to school with everyone wearing Ohio State gear, talk some trash before the game, come back after Thanksgiving, talking all the trash. And it became really fun. We got into high school in Michigan, won a few games and won a national title, et cetera, et cetera. So plenty of them in there. No, I do think there were some people who flipped over the years after 20 years or so of Ohio State dominance. Bill Graves is from Columbus. DS is from the 614. Ace of Spades is from Cincinnati. Chat Sports has an office in Cincinnati, actually. Our guys, Chris and Tom, rocking the Chat Sports office in Cincinnati, right downtown Main Street, downtown Cincinnati. Take a look at the Super Chat leaderboard. Strike 3, unless something changes. That's fine. If no one has to throw in, it's a big lead he has. He put in that big $200 Super Chat in there for Jeremy to do the boot and Jack to get over the top to go to Houston. Another Super Chat coming in from Josephine Tracy. Just throwing in a $2 with the super sticker with the cat. Little cat going there. What does it say there? So Shiba dog raises and lowers its index finger to get nose. I think it's more like this. You can see it on the live chat. Like, hello, hello, hello. One last time, shout out where you guys are watching from. Just type in me. Do we have the me one, Jack? Anyone wants to say a shout out before we end the show? Type me. I'll give as many shots as I can. There we go. Ace Spades, $5 super chat. What game are y'all meeting? All of us meeting up at the big house next year? I will say for one thing, it's been tough with the show and 2 kids and all that stuff to guarantee anything. I used to go to like 5 games a year, even when I lived in California or DC and all that stuff. So fly up every Friday, come back every Sunday morning, Saturday night. I'll be at the Texas game right now. So living in Dallas, my son, Texas, right? People like Texas, etc. He wants to go to that game big time. If it's Michigan, Texas national title game, I don't know if I'll be able to afford a ticket to take him to that game, Jack. But so we're definitely going to go September 7th, second game of the year next year. I will be there. Ace of Spades, make sure you hit me up with your address too, Ace of Spades. We owe you some Manscaped gear. But if we want to do Texas, maybe that'll be the place. Chaco Bear is from Central Wyoming, by the way. That's a place to be. So let me give Ace of Spades another. That's $5 sticker, but I'm gonna give him one anyways because it might be the last super chat of the year, Jack. Can you believe it? It did. So if that's the last super chat of the year, that is where things shake out. Let me give some shout outs here. I just keep putting the helmet somewhere else. I'm losing my mind. I'm going to give you Ace of Spades for the last super chat. Make sure you've got another helmet sticker. All right, so DS is Michigan 31, Alabama 20. Charlie Partlow is in South Carolina. Strike 3, I got a me for you. Love of Christ, I got to go blue. DS, Zaire E. See, did I miss any me's? Mark, my Go Blue score, Michigan 31, Alabama 13. Jack, let's put a 60-second shot clock up, and then we wrap up today's show. If anyone wants to keep the show going, every $5 will keep going in extra minutes. But take it down. We'll wrap up the show. Wrap up 2023. It's kind of like I think we should do this, Jack. We should do the 10-second countdown as if it's like the New Year's Eve, like 10, 9. There you go. So put 2 minutes on the shot clock if you can, Jack. And then after the 2 minutes is up, it's $5 or more to keep it rolling another minute. So what games for us? Ohio MFers meeting up for. So, well, the schedule's pretty damn good next year, right? You got Oregon, Texas at home. You got Michigan State at home. I think USC is at home as well. USC, I think Texas, USC, and Oregon all at Michigan State, or at Michigan Stadium and Michigan State. You got road games at Ohio State and Washington. If that was the schedule this year, that'd be one of the craziest schedules of all time. Now, luckily for Michigan, almost all those teams, I think, maybe outside of Texas, we'll see what happens with Queen Ewers. All those teams, Washington, Oregon, USC, Ohio State, not returning the starting quarterback. So not as daunting had it been this season as Cody Mount for $2. But I'm saying Texas. Let's do Texas as a meetup game. Maybe, Jack, maybe we should do something like, have a tailgate or something like that. You never know. You never know. I think Coop might go to the game. He said he might want to go to that one next year. It's going to be, Mark Majkowski, great subscriber bill from 200. Appreciate that, Mark. Appreciate you being with us for all these years. So, we have a few people here coming from the office here at Chat Sports that want to see that game's going to be a big noon game. That people don't realize that. They'll be, that'll be prime time. Part of the SEC Texas-Oklahoma 1 year early negotiation was that they flipped the game from being in Ann Arbor in 2027 to being in 2024, and as such, Fox would get the game as a big noon kickoff, so they didn't miss out on one of their big potential marquee matchups. If it wouldn't be that way in 2027, et cetera, et cetera. They agreed, and now Texas is going to they switched it so the game is in Ann Arbor next year, not in Texas. Because if not, that would have been an ESPN ABC game. 20 seconds left on this season. I see you, Ace of Spades. I see you, Ashley Lawson, saying Michigan State. If we get a $5 super chat in the next 15 seconds, we will keep the show going another minute. But if not, that is all she wrote. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Michigan's going to beat Alabama. Happy New Year. We'll see you guys after the Rose Bowl, unless something happens. Till then, for Jack Latteray, a.k.a. Young Harbaugh, I am James Yoder. See you guys in Houston. Oh, yeah. Go Blue.